Hello everyone, Conor here. Just as a small disclaimer, some things we may talk about on the pod shouldn't be attempted or recreated. Remember to keep everything legal, keep it between the hedges, and don't tear up the ground while you're on the pull.
I've just realised the only problem with me sitting like this here is you can't see the nice t-shirt that I'm wearing.
Oh, it's lovely.
Aye, fine.
Do you ever just feel like there's a sneeze coming along? I don't know whether it's coming or not.
Just the countdown theme tune ensues while we're waiting. Don't
Don't you put me off doing it.
Boom. Right here, I've no time to edit this podcast, so are we going live? Fuck it.
My eyes are watering.
Your eyes are literally watering.
Thank you for making me
You
feel
literally
so
look like
uncomfortable.
you're stoned off your nut.
Oh, thank you. Am I going to sneeze or not? I don't think it. What?
No, it didn't help. Thought might have scared you.
Aye. If it was up in my face, maybe, but... Am I going to actually have a runny nose now? That would be a typical thing.
You can also see my nipples. The fuckers are cut glass.
Yeah. Is that what you're trying to push your tits out?
Oh, aye. Genuinely. Not in the fact I've gained serious weight, but I've decided, come on July, we're going to...
To be fair, you've decided you're going to...
Come July, aye. I mean, I said the same come January. That went well.
It's only started June, you'd say come June, but June...
No,
June
June's going to have 2 weddings, then Donegal.
How's that going to affect it?
Because you eat a lot of food at weddings and...
But you don't really eat in the morning time.
Aye, but still... I've just decided in my head.
Come July.
I've just said it's just going to be shite for the next year and a half till I get married and stuff and do a lot of saving.
I don't know if we're going live or not. Probably are, but
Oh,
if
we were
anybody
live
wants
long
to buy Michael a training bra, it would help.
That was a bit close to home there, Conor.
Why have you bought one?
No, just fuck. Harsh.
Okay, it's only a joke, calm down. You fucking put me up singing last time, so you can go and fuck yourself.
Right, just fucking run with it. Come on, let's go.
I need to find the intro. I can't mind what I'm supposed to say. What's the crack, everyone? You Michael's piercing nipples here, and I'm not lonely.
Anyway, you cunt.
I'm not lonely anymore.
Right.
You're at the minute listening to Gapes on a podcast by Limited Slip Differences, where we are apparently talking about
Sniffing.
about tits being lonely.
This might be actually the most butchered fuck up we've ever done. That
We do normally talk about cows and cars. Doesn't really seem like a not logical topics, but sure we do. I'm Conor and
I am Michael, and what's the
today
crack,
we're
folks?
on
episode 36.
episode 36.
Because you
I
forgot.
flexed through my fucking notes to find out what episode it is.
Hey, I have very little notes taken for this one, but that being said, it's still going to be a really long
Oh,
podcast.
you think you've very little?
Tumbleweed.
Hold on.
Oh, for Jesus' sakes, Conor, fuck me.
It says,
I've got there's people who sent me TikToks. I'm sitting there going I haven't had a chance to get running through them yet.
well, my episode notes start with EP 36 with a comma, and that's it. The
Well,
intention was there. The intention.
Well, there's
yeah.
plenty of what's new.
There was
Probably mainly from my side of things. Hello.
Well, I have a wee bit new too, I suppose. But no, when did we last record?
That's a good question.
Was it the Sunday or the Monday?
Pardon
No,
me. I think it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday, wasn't it?
Sunday, and then I will go from there. So we record it, and yous all heard it. I hope yous all listened. And then on the Monday,
What
did
happened
you
on the
not?
Monday?
Was it the Monday?
No,
it was the Monday.
No, it was a Tuesday.
Was it the Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Was it a bank holiday or anything? No.
No, I was supposed to. Right, so cryptically, Conor's trying to hint at me. We talked about it after Christmas. I think it was the first episode of, I guess, year 2.
Just before you go in any further, I've just realised, right?
Yes.
Do you fucking edit this? So no matter what I've said, you could butcher this. That I'm just not saying anything bad about you at all.
Yeah.
And I still look like a lonely fucker.
Yes.
So there you go.
But I'll play fair the rules. No, well, I was going to go live, but we've kind of hashed about that much. For the listeners' benefit, we're probably going to have to cut some of that out, as we do every podcast.
You didn't cut Miley singing out anyway?
No, that was so funny. I have no regrets. But yeah, so basically we had talked about it was like the first podcast after the I guess year 2, and we were talking about pickups, and we'd been to not the Winter Fair, the Q8 Oils Machinery Spring Farm Machinery Show. And there was talk about, like, we talked about the KGM Musso, and I had test drove, I can't remember how I talked about it in the podcast, but I had test drove a Navara, and then I test drove an L200. And I think I may have talked about it. If I didn't, I'm surprised I didn't. I probably did talk about it. But and you were all on at me about you should get an Amarok. And then I was like, nah, like I don't know how I feel about Amaroks. They're I would like one, but there's none within my price range.
They're too dear.
I just thought they were too dear. And then, lo and behold, Creth messaged me a while ago and was like, here lad, I've got an Amarok coming in. And I went, here Creth, forget about it. Like, I'm not interested in an Amarok. It's out of my budget. And he goes, no, it's not. And I goes, well, tell me, give me a bit of details on her. He goes, she's 2018 and 47k. And I was like, right. And he told me the price, and I was like, okay, that's actually within budget. So I'm not going to go into all that. But anyway, Creth was like, look, there's a couple wee bits I want to fix up on her. When she's give to you, I want her left absolutely right. She's a real nice colour. It's her anthracite. Conor's going to sneeze. Only took you like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Conor's finally sneezed. Bearing in mind, before all this, he's had to get up, try and blow his nose. He looked stoned at one point, trying to hold back a sneeze. It was very funny.
Go ahead.
But so 3-litre V6. So I had originally, to be honest, see if it had have been a 2-litre. Jesus, Conor. But that being said, if he had told me, it's a 2-litre, I would have probably still been interested.
Okay.
But anyway, it was a Highline. It had all the right parts. It actually has a LSD in it, which is like an optional extra.
Oh.
It's a real nice colour, an anthracite blue. So I was like,
looks
right,
navy.
Yeah, it's still nice. It's a bit more silvery than navy.
I would have said it looks navy.
I'm not a fan of direct navy, because you know when you get like A4s and stuff in that navy colour, and like even the Boras and stuff. Like it's a bit more silvery than that. I don't know.
I just looked at it and looked navy.
So anyway, I had went, and I was like, right, here, sure, look, I'll go and take it a test drive. And see, to be honest, like, I jumped on that thing. I didn't want to get out of her. It was like you had said about it, because you have the Amarok at home too. You have the 2-litre Amarok as well. Yours is the Highline as well, isn't it? But yours pre-facelift.
So ours, well, the 2-litre was the first of them, and then can't mind if it was in 2015 or what, they changed it to the 3-litre. So they're only.
I thought they'd done the 3-litre from the get-go.
No, not as far as I'm aware. So as far as I'm aware, the 2-litre was the start of them. Again, I don't know the full history of them.
Was that 2012 or 2013 they first came out?
Something like that. They did the first 3 or 4 years anyway were all 2-litre, and then everyone after that was V6.
Right.
I can mind in the dealership, I thought it was a bit strange that the 2-litre was rated for 3.5 tonne and the 3-litre was rated for 3.1 tonne. So technically the 3-litre is not rated for the 3.5.
3-litre, mine's is rated for 3.5.
It could be a load of shit, like I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to hark back. So very first podcast we ever done, you said that if anybody was ever going to do an engine swap, you would definitely give them your advice, not. And I was like, I'd stay the fuck away from you.
Yeah.
You listened to somebody's advice, and what did you do?
But I listened to your advice of buying a phone as well, and that didn't work out well.
Well, I can't help if the phone's going to be bad.
To be fair, I jumped on her and I was like, so I took it and, shall we say, an extended test drive. But it was like, an Amarok feels a lot bigger compared to the Navara, and definitely a lot bigger compared to the L200. Now, what I will say about the Navara is Navara was very, very comfortable.
Are they leaf springs or are they springs in the back?
I think they're different.
Must be springs in the back.
I think they are, but I could be corrected in that one. The L200's definitely leafs. The L200 was a nice driving position, I thought, but
it's more like a car.
She was quite stiff. The one I test drove was anyway. The Navara I drove was very comfortable, but I thought it was very boaty. Very, very boaty. So, kind of came away from... I originally thought whenever I test drove the Navara and the L200 that the Navara was going to blow the L200 out of the water.
Yeah.
And I walked away from that going, I think I'd actually take the L200. But then I test drove the Amarok, and like then I come out and I planted the foot in her, and the 3-litre V6 is just miles beyond everything else. Like in the pickup world, like, you know, compared to your normal vehicle, it's slower. But she just took off, and I was like, oh fuck, this thing can shift. And then
I don't know what the equivalent to a 3-litre V6 would be in like a Ford Ranger or that, you know.
It used to be 3.2, wasn't it, in them? So the new Rangers are a 3-litre V6.
Aye, well, they're literally
they're a VW. Yeah, it's a Ford VW crossover.
No. The new Amarok and the new Ranger is a Ford.
Yeah.
The Amarok is a Ranger just with different bodywork.
Yes.
So she's more a Ford than she is a Volkswagen. Yeah. Which
I don't know. Like I always said, a Ford with a VW engine, dead on. A VW with a Ford engine. That being said, 3-litre V6s and the Mark 1 Amaroks can give wild hassle too, injector pumps and stuff like that.
It's and like any engine.
DPFs can give wild hassle on them too, and apparently if you take them out and map them, like Darren Milne has one, his mapped, that thing can boogie. He has the gearbox and all mapped in it too. It can move. Like mine's is sharp, but his just pulls. Like you can sink mine's once you get up maybe till like 4th gear, 5th gear. Like she's 8 gears, but see once you're maybe up out of 1st and 2nd and 3rd, like you plant the foot on her, she's grand, but you're like, okay, she's dead. You know
on. That you're in a pickup basically.
Yeah.
Whereas his
Darn, she plant the foot on her 5th and she just goes, just takes off, and I was like, holy fuck, this thing is an animal.
Pure rocket ship, just
310 he reckons she's at. So that's some jump. So, but they apparently, I was chatting to Gareth Galt. He had said like they're all the same. Would be it a 204, a 258, or a 224.
All the same turbo,
all the same,
engine?
Just different maps.
Oh, okay.
So a 204 will map to 300 as easily as a 258.
There you go.
So, which I was quite impressed with. So anyway,
what one is yours?
224, Blue Motion. For now. And
just start stop, really. That's all it is.
I hate that start stop's coming out every the first chance. There's nothing worse for your turbos.
Yeah.
See that starting and stopping, and then like you turn the car off, next thing you start, and then you go. I know there's technically oil in around the engine, but say you're at a set of traffic lights and you need to get away, you plant the foot in her. She's turned off, and then she switches on, and away you go. Like your engine has stopped running, and then all of a sudden you're accelerating away. It just can't be good for it.
No,
it just can't be good. So if I could get away of literally bypassing that, so that start stop feature never kicks in, I'd be more than happy.
Yeah.
Had to put AdBlue on it for the first time as well. It is a slow process. The AdBlue, see when you fill AdBlue up at like the pumps, pardon me, like putting normal diesel in, it's like what a 1 inch, it's like a 1 inch line or something.
Oh, yes.
AdBlue, is what, like 5 or 6 in it, 5 or 6 mil or something like.
Anytime we're putting AdBlue into any cars, there's a wee pump, and we bought the 200-litre drum of it. So therefore you just pump it into them.
Well, I remember like I was standing there and I was like, it actually took me longer to fill it with like 11 litres of AdBlue than it did for me to fill it with nearly 70 litres of fuel.
Fuck.
Like I was sitting there going, actually just stab me, like this is shite crack. But that was okay, right? So anyway, got the Amarok, took her home, very very happy with her. We all know I've been driving the Bora prior to that.
Yeah.
So went from one Highline to another, and I was like, right, okay. Bora's parked in front of the house, and I was like, right, I'll take it back to my mum's, and went to reverse the Bora. Like literally, I'd parked the Bora up on the Tuesday night after coming home from work. This was now the Friday. I was like, right, I'll take the Bora out and I'll drive her home, and went to put it into reverse, and I heard a sheer noise, and now I have no reverse, and she's automatic, so there ain't many of them about. So I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Because the plan was, oh yeah, Bora, because the Bora goes like a clock.
Yeah.
Like that thing is class. Highline interior, well she's full Highline, like heated seats, Highline interior. I got the wings done on her. She's solid motor, like got the timing and all done on her. Like that car is worth still an alright bit of money. So I was like, I'll get the Bora sold. That'll get a wee bit of the money back. Now I have no clue what to do, because it's not like an automatic gearbox for a Bora. It's just going to come up. Like, I know we've had very, very helpful listeners in the past, but if you are listening and you know where there's an automatic Mark IV platform, like 09A box, let me know. I'll take it. Because
Right enough.
the thing is,
nearly
right,
as cheap buying the box to trying to fix that one.
well, I don't even know where to start with. Like, I haven't even the time to get at it. You know,
For yours was the first Mark IV I've ever seen with a automatic box.
I've heard
on
of
it.
like 3 others in the country, and sure, mine was in England. Like, it wasn't even bought here. It's an English car. Like my auntie had it, and then I got it from her.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with that.
So you got the Amarok.
Yes.
Then on the Monday night, the Monday you drove.
Oh, I know. Yeah, sir. I was bunged up about the Amarok. I know you're. Yes, fuck, Conor. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I was keen to talk about the Amarok. Like, Casper, who I work with, is literally like, I was posting up Snapchat of it and sending Snapchats to him. Casper, like, just put as your fucking profile picture ready. It's now become your identity. And I was like, he's kind of right. Because I was just that obsessed with it. Like, I was just literally like, everything was just Amarok. And Casper was like, come fuck up.
Well, do you want to know something? I know whenever we've talked about it before, whether recording or not recording, I've always said that I've always given them a lot of praise, basically being like, oh,
They
they're
drive
class.
so well.
But do you ever get the point where you're like, when it was different that it's one thing being the only thing you know.
Yes.
It's another thing not being in all the other Jeeps to know what
Yeah.
they're like, and you're given so much,
Like, I mean,
praise to one.
Conor Kelly has an L200, and it's lovely. Like, it's a real nice.
What did he
going.
think of it?
Oh, I thought it was very, very comfortable. Like,
Oh no, it was interesting.
like
to hear.
you know,
Yeah.
it's but obviously he has his L200. He's not going to turn around and go, oh, yeah, this is much. Even if he did think of, which he wouldn't, because his L200 is pride and joy. But he was like, oh, it's sharp and it's comfy. Like, really, what else can he say?
Well, no, that's true.
But
That's true. Yeah.
as we were saying, yeah, sorry, I was that horned up to talk about the Amarok, that, yeah, the Monday night then, the bank account's been fairly touched there, like, so, basically, for about the last 7 years, I have been toying with the idea of buying a Fraser Silage trailer, 16-foot Fraser Silage trailer.
One of the bigger ones.
Aye, but not too big. And I had no need for it back in 2017 because the Fate wasn't even on the scene back then.
True.
And
That would have been
I was
really
like, I could buy it
random.
and put it in the back of Donald's TM150, because I drove in 2014 when I was doing the Silage. Last year we had the TM, or last year Donald was helping draw on. I had that trailer on the back of the TM,
Yeah.
and I thought I was the boy. And
Fair
like,
enough.
wasn't a massive trailer, but Donald normally trailed, like, Donald would normally pull the 8.5 ton behind the TM150, and it was like, Jesus
The
Christ.
tractor was bigger than the trailer.
There literally, there's a picture of it. If you go back through my Facebook to like 2012 or 2011, there's a picture of the TM with the Silage trailer on behind, and like literally the tractor is literally bigger than the trailer. Like, it's the same size of trailer as what I had in the back of the Fate, like, originally.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Tiny.
like you could have pulled that in gear 18 everywhere. Like, you never would need to change down. Like, shoot. So then that first year, that was, so like 2 or 3 years later, Donald was like, go you down and lift the trailer. Just the way it worked out, I was down like the day before. He's like, oh, go you lift the trailer. So I landed down, and I was just like, deadly. I went and hooked on the big trailer, and I was like, yes. I was the boy. And so I was like, yeah, no. It pulled really well. It was a nice trailer, and I was like, this is class. Like, I would love a trailer like this.
Yeah.
Because even there's a picture I remember having from like the TM parked up in the yard. Now, she may or may not have blew off a boost pipe, and that was why she was parked in the yard at the time when I took the photo. Who knows? But I have that photo, and like momentarily I would have still went back and looked at that photo and like, Jesus, I love that trailer. So time and time again I've been like, should I not? And then, like, probably shouldn't be spending, given I have a wedding next year and all that, but the opportunity then come up for a Fraser trailer in the Irish Peninsula. So
Wasn't beside home.
no, sure, I drove to Newry for that other Fraser.
That's right.
in the
I
Fiat.
forgot
Like.
about that,
So I was like, I've driven a long journey once on the Fiat for a trailer. Sure, I can do it again. So the Friday night then, I was like, I'll go out to Adams and look at the trailer. I drove the whole way, took the Bora down to Kirkcalban, or outside Kirkcalban, way down the halfway down the Arch Peninsula.
Yeah.
And was like, I come out through East Belfast, and I was like, okay, this could be interesting. Got there, I landed back, and they were actually using the trailer to draw on silage.
Yes, yes.
And he was like, oh yeah, the other trailer were using the tail door, something happened, like a bracket broke off. He's like, so we just took down this one. So I was like, well, I know the hydraulics clearly work then, and I was like, go and test the brakes, and excuse me, go and tap her up and look down round her, and like, hey, she's not a brand new trailer, like, you know, but she wasn't brand new money either. So then I was like, right, fuck it, I'll just come and lift her.
Yeah.
So I was like, right. So Monday morning, I jumped in the tractor at 6:10 and
Right.
drove to Ballyclare to work in Ballyclare.
Take a tractor to work.
I
day,
was there for
basically.
7:30, landed in, and John was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, sorry lad. not long in the new job, like, and you're taking the tractor to work, like, and they just were, it's just like, of course.
I'd actually love to see the faces of Muns in my work, because we rent a building off, like, so part of a building off another crowd, and it's in, you know, more or less an industrial estate.
Well, some of us, couldn't it?
Aye. But I'd love to see what the looks you would get arriving down in the tractor.
So I came in early, so I was like, here, John, can you let me away, like, you know, 4:30 instead of 5? He was like, yeah, go on ahead, like, get out of my sight. You know, so I was like, right. So anyway, took the tractor then, because obviously you can't go on the motorway. Ballyclare, had to drive then through Carnmoney, up, like, through Glengormley, up onto the Antrim Road, like, past, like, the Lansdowne Hotel, down, what way did I come on? I think I ended up coming down Clifton Street, out through onto out like onto Duncrew Street nearly. No, that's where I came out. I came out at Yorkgate,
Right.
down York Street, past where like the James Crow and all. Then drove out by like McKenna's Bar, and then like come up and took that left out by like, is it the AC Hotel, that new?
Something like that, yeah. Okay.
Came out by that, then like pulled out basically onto like the 4 lanes as you go by the Big Fish.
I would say everybody's like, what the fuck?
So then over the Queen's Bridge, trying to avoid all the cars, then out the Newton Ards Road, in rush hour, in the tractor. You talk about a fucking session.
Bad.
So, do you know what? I wasn't even the slowest thing on the road, but it's like the constant start and stop, like traffic lights, all that there, like people sitting like up your arse, you're sitting like neck and neck with buses, you're fairly like, you know, it was just packed, and like, so I was coming out the Newton Ards Road in the tractor, like in like peak rush hour, gliders pulling out in front of you, and I was just like, what have I done with my life? Like, why did I make this life decision?
Yes.
So anyway, I'm pretty sure the cops followed me a couple of times.
Oh.
Yeah, no, they can't do anything, I don't think. Like, I was going to lift the trailer, so it's agricultural.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It's not like you were just lapping the city.
No, like, so, and if they had to stop me, I'd have been like, well, here. But to be fair, they actually came, because I kept like driving along, and then any time I come up to like where the bus lane ended, I would like pull in and try and let people past.
Yeah.
And then when a few cars cleared, I would pull out again. And there was just like Audi, I was MGZ Reg, like A6, like had like the funky tint in the window. I was like, yeah, it's the cops. And I was like, fuck, they're gonna pull me here. And they kept like pulling in behind me every time I slowed down to like let other people through. But then they got to like the Ulster Hospital or whatever that hospital is at Donegal, and they turned and went back, and I was like, right, okay, well, happy days. So I was alright then. Gone on out, headed up like towards like that road, came to Newton Ards. Newton Ards was roadworks. Well, Google actually took me what it thought was a shortcut, and ended up having to go through a load of bastard housing estates.
Oh.
Speed bumps in the 110 are not your friend.
I would say no.
Jesus Christ. So after navigating about 540,000 speed bumps in Newton Ards, finally gone on to the A2. And what I will say about the people of the Ards Peninsula, you may be the loveliest of people, which I think you probably are, But my God, overtake. There was bits on that main line, the A20 or A2 or whatever it is, like literally you go from Newton Ards right along the coast of the Ards Peninsula, beside Strangford Lough. Beautiful, beautiful part of the country. Like, it is unbelievable. Key Michael Line.
It's the fact you dragged the fucking word out. It's not just like you're saying it's unbelievable.
We should actually we should do a sticker of that.
No, your face and just unbelievable, but fucking accurate. You know, the dashes in between unbel and then
I can just see Padraig Leonard doing something weird here now. Like, it's in my head. Like,
never seen a man take 20 seconds to say one fucking word.
Anyway, so I was calling.
And the emphasis you do on it is unreal.
I know, I love it, and
it's just unreal, or it's unbelievable.
It's like the way Clarkson does, like, yes, and in the world. That's my version. Now, I'm not as popular as Clarkson.
See if you start talking and having a fucking pause every time you say it.
I don't pause. I talk far too fast to have a pause.
Go on ahead, tear away at your story.
Like, see, the amount of straight butts on that road, there was maybe one, or there was a woman in a Porsche Jeep behind me at one point.
Maybe she just was admiring your tractor.
I was doing 22 miles an hour.
Still.
But I was starting to build up a queue of traffic. I had to pull in 4 or 5 times on that road, and I was like, literally, if the first person had have overtook, everyone could have got by. But no one would overtake. Everyone just sat by. It wasn't even there was loads of cars coming our way, because everyone was heading out of Belfast to go home.
Maybe they didn't have much to go home to.
I don't know. But I was is no one seriously going to overtake? So I had to keep pulling on.
Did they overtake you then?
It's just about. Everyone was just doodering. Just must dooder in the Ards Peninsula.
Sunday drivers
on a Monday night. So I was like, right, okay. Finally then.
Clearly no Monday blues were there.
So finally got to Adams to lift the trailer, and then that was dead on.
Were they did you actually just drive a tractor?
They thought this was hilarious. But then they were also here, look, we would have people, I know Strains, DJ Strain. They're Ballyclare direction. He was like we'd be back and forward to there all the time, and I was like, well, I'm an hour and a half on a tractor after that. But I was alright. Put the trailer on, and then coming back through the Ards Peninsula, I thought I was the boy. Boys in vans hanging out the window Snapchatting. You met Stevie Evans flashing the lights along the way. Boys in Mark IV Golfs and stuff like that, giving you the sham hand and all, everybody, and I was like, I am fucking class here, boys, I am the man. And then I come on to Belfast.
Yes.
Every fucking cunt and smack, just middle finger. Coming back down the Newton Ards Road, I was fighting with a glider the whole way down the Newton Ards Road. And literally, because he would pull in and I'd get ahead of him, and then because at that time I the bus lanes, because it's 7 to 7, so I didn't need to go in the bus lanes. I don't have a front plate in the tractor now, so. But
and you can't see the back.
You can't see it with the back, so with the trailer on, so there's no plate in the trailer, so
they're fucked.
So anyway, but it's 7 to 7, so what I was doing was right anyway. So then the next thing I'd be looking behind, going, fuck me, there's the glider, and then I'd be pulling out, and the glider would be going by me, and I'd be pulling in behind the glider, and then he would stop, had to go out round him again. I was just like, Jesus Christ. So me and literally the glider must have passed each other about 7 or 8 times down the Newton Ards Road, and then come over the Queen's Bridge again, straight out by the police station, out then heading back towards, took me up the Crumlin Road, right round the Horseshoe Bend of Cave Hill, up Cave Hill. So I was going up the Cave Hill Road, in the tractor, staring over Belfast at this stage it was maybe 9 o'clock at night, and I was just like, this is both deadly and scundering. Because then I was like, this would be a deadly spot for a photo, but then I had nowhere to pull in. There was a bit of a crowd building up behind me, and the handbrake wouldn't be that overly hot in my tractor.
Oh.
So I was like, no, I'll keep moving. Got to the 7 mile straight, come down the 7 mile straight and to Antrim, and then I was like, Conor, do you want to see my trailer? With the full hope and intention that you just let me park the tractor in yours.
No, you phoned me and you were like, oh, I'll probably be about an hour. No, sorry, it was a voice note you done. I'll probably be about an hour or so. And I was like, right, okay, that's no bother. And I was like, do you want me to run you home instead of you driving the tractor home and leave the trailer here?
My plan worked. Yes.
Because I was like, what's the point in him just leaving the trailer here instead of just leaving the whole shebang there? But I thought you said sorry 45 minutes, and to be fair,
I would.
I could hear you coming literally a fucking mile away.
I came into Randallstown and then went out the Staverstown Road, and then I think I went out the Greening Road. I nearly ended up coming out by your brother's house and down round the Boyles and all out that way.
Yes,
which I thought actually was the quicker route, but I probably would have been quicker nearly going to
just go down the main line.
Main line, then back on myself. Probably would have been quicker. Out by Dills and then out the Gala Road, probably been as quick as any. But no, I had to be awkward and go out all the back roads of Craigan. So
you would tend to be an awkward cutty half.
And then there was a fella who's out in either TM 140 or TM 155. Well, same size of trailer as me. I don't know who they were drawing silage for, me Manelli's or something like that outside.
No idea.
But I was coming down, so he was behind me, and then he caught up me fairly quickly on the Staverstown Road, and I was just like, it'd be nice to have the extra 5 mile an hour the TM would have, like.
Yeah.
Because I know I was able to clock Donald's TM 150 at 27.
There you go.
27.4. If you believe what the speedo tells you.
Oh, yeah.
So, but she'd been quick enough, like.
So how long did that journey take you to do?
Would I have been at yours, I'd say around about 10:30 at night.
Easily.
Right. Well, I left work at 4:30, and I would say I was in Newton Ards I was at Adam Bell's house for a grand total of 20 minutes max.
Oh fuck, right.
Yeah. Bearing in mind I ride under and a half that morning, and I wasn't going the full way home because I'm it's probably half an hour from your house to mine, the tractor, like
40 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes.
So call it 35 minutes then. So
not gonna lie, whenever you came down the lane and seen the trailer, I was like, that's cool as fuck. Like that is
it's
very
iconic. Cool. Like in my head, like this one of the best combos out there, along with like maybe a 14-ton Cane and an 8340, or like your classic combos,
or
like your
360 and then a classic Red Rock or something.
Or even like a 7840 and a Donnelly or something like that. Just you get them iconic combos, or
Heron Triller or like John Deere or
like
Cane
it's like
and John Deere.
Yeah,
like
just it's one of your classic. And I was like, but because it's so period correct, it's like a 1990 mid-90s tractor and a mid-90s trailer. It's like a blast in the past, and that's why. Because you were like to me, you could fab yourself up like a. Because she has like the triangular back door.
For like
you
chilled harvesters.
You were like, oh, you could put a like a
fabricate straight up.
You were like, you could make yourself a straight door, and I could, but I don't want to, because I like the way it's period correct. It was built for a time when harvesters didn't have as high a spout, or they wouldn't have been as big, so you were blowing at trailers rather than in the trailers, if that makes sense. And you can see that with like the JF, and we'll talk about that after we talk about yours.
Well, that was the Monday night, and on this, sorry, was it the Friday or the Thursday? No, sorry, it was the Thursday night beforehand. He goes to me, I might have a trailer sorted for your silage. And I was like, fuck, where is he getting this out of? And it was then you said you were way down to see that on the Friday, and it made obviously sense. Whenever you're driving by, you might as well just park it out at
it's like a yearly thing now. Like I've been doing the silage at yours since 2020 or 2021, between bales and drawn in.
I would
like
be.
I've been there every year. For some, I've broke something or burst something around yours. Like, have to carry the tradition. Like,
but no, you arrived down. It was extremely cool to see. I think the first words I said to you was, "That's probably the best money you'll ever spend."
Do you know what? Kind of like the fate, as I've said before, I don't need it, but me and Darren Mullen were talking the other day, and Darren was like, but the day when it comes to you finally getting yourself built up, and I am a machinery man, like, I like my toys, and now, that being said, I have a few goodies of cars to shift. Lexus down there been one of them, Cavalier been another, Bora, if I could find a gearbox, be another, and all the other parts, because I don't have time get everything done. I'd rather see the Sierra left, right, and I want to get the P100 sorted, and I want to start building the drift car.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going to lose car content here, folks. There's plenty of car content to come. It's just I have so much shit lying about.
You have got very agricultural as of recent.
I have. I think, honestly, that was keeping the cattle over the winter. I loved it. I loved every bit of it, apart from when they broke out and got on the main road in the snow.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I talked about that in the pod.
Don't think you talked to me about that either.
No. But anyway, so like yeah, I'm a machinery man, but like keeping the cal over the winter, like I really really liked, and as Darren was saying, like obviously as time goes on, I would like to build everything up, and like to be fair, like anything I have, maybe bar that Silage trailer, has been useful. Like there's a lot of boys in the country keeping more cattle than I am, and maybe have a Massey 35. But like, see, like because this yard's so big, and there's a lot of maintenance, and I'm on my own. See, I likes to have a Mary there. Like, I don't need Mary every day, but Mary was there.
Mary's a map bro for people that haven't actually listened to this before.
If you're catching up, Mary is my 1983 map bro Telegram 40D. But Mary, the boy I bought her off, Jeremy Holland, called her Mary, and funny story with Jeremy. I was down in West Cork last week in Skibbereen working on a place, and I said to one of the lads working on site, I was like, I actually have a mate down here. I was like, I bought a few things off him. I was like, I referred to him as Crazy Jeremy. He goes, oh, is that Jeremy Holland? And I was like, do you know him? He goes, oh yeah, he's a mad cunt. So Jeremy, if you're listening, which I think he does, the people of West Cork know you. So, but anyway, like likes to have Mary there. Like whenever the tractor had the hydraulic problem over the winter, like I was relying on Mary to feed the cow. Like
and she did it.
She did it. Went up the road, left at bales, took them down. Like I put all the lights on her. And you
still insist on driving around your yard with front beacons on.
I did it last night for the crack, like, and I don't today because I was reversing up the road. So as soon as I go to the road,
anytime I've seen that thing turned on, the first thing you do is turn on your beacons.
Flatted them out with the party hats, lad. But anyway, so yeah, no, definitely his last while, the heart is starting to lie a lot with the farming too. But that being said, like buzzing for Donegal Rally in a couple of weeks, like so.
Oh, of course.
Watch it.
But anyway, yes, as I was saying, so you told me you were going to get a trailer. I wondered where you're going to get the trailer out of, and then I found out where you're going to get the trailer out of, and then you bought the trailer, then you brought it back to mine. First thoughts were, fuck, there's super singles and that thing.
Yeah.
But then the thing really was, it's light. For all the grass it'll hold, not do too much harm. It'll be no different than our low loader weigh 10 bales on it.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah.
So anyway, not ideal. Because
but
whenever we were in the later fields at night time, I knew where you'd been.
Could you start to see it? Could you?
I knew where you'd been. But then again, it's like anything, when you're the actual person that's helping to farm that land.
Yeah.
You notice things that other people couldn't give a fuck about.
Would you have noticed it whenever you were coming out to spread slurry then? Could you have seen pretty much where I was turning?
Not so much. It was more see at night time with the lights. You could definitely see where you'd been. Yeah. It's not like you were digging the ground up.
Just leaving a wee indent.
Aye.
I would love, to be honest, for all they are, I think you can get flotations for handy enough money. So that'll be the next
down the line, maybe for next year or whatever.
Next year, next cut. Like, to be honest, I don't think I'll bring that trailer out for the second cut. I don't even know what you're going to do the second cut this time round.
Neither do I.
But like, to be honest with you, the second cut, if the ground's a bit more damp, the first cut you can nearly get away with. Your dad's not that happy about super singles on the Silage ground. Like.
Well, no, to be fair, like any of the bale trailers we've ever had on, bar McLaren's,
McLaren's, and the WAM as well.
Bar them, they've all had super singles on them. So, like, if you're taking one or two loads out, it's not the end of the day.
Aye.
But anyway, long story short, you arrived down, looked at super singles, and to be honest, it was like, look, for all the fucking grass that thing's going to draw, who gives a shite? Cows will poach ground more than them super singles do. Anyway, so then it came to the Tuesday.
Yes.
And
we still didn't know what was happening.
Right, so story goes, on the Tuesday I kept looking at the weather.
How many weather apps did you download to your phone?
So actually that's the valid point. So I had AccuWeather.
Yes.
Some other weather app, I can't remember the name of it. Apple Weather.
You had some Norwegian app, didn't you?
Something like that. Alarm. What the fuck? Alright. No, it's Ryan McMullen that's sending snaps. Must be just a long video. Yes. So I'll just put that in silent because that's really rude.
Oh, right.
No,
McMullen's
not.
getting a shout out there. McMullen Agri.
I put it in what? Fuck. Wait, hold on. Put it in water mode. So. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Hit the right button there now. So, on the Tuesday, yes. So I have the, what was it? AccuWeather, Apple Weather, Met Office, BBC Weather. Even though they're the same, but
You had everything going. Did you know? You had some Norwegian app as well.
there's
Didn't you?
some stupid like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so again went on to the App Store, downloaded literally every weather. So Met Air and everything, if you know what I mean. So, turned out that, didn't realise it, but later found out that I had paid for AccuWeather Premium, which is like 25, 30 quid a year or something,
Oh,
right?
shit. Right.
But whenever I seen the Weather channel, downloaded it and looked at premium features and was like, fuck it. This'll maybe save me a lot of whinging, so download it again,
Yeah.
another 30 quid.
Yeah. Big
But,
money, man.
well, it was in a weather app, it could be worse.
Yeah.
But anyway, I looked anyway at the weather and it showed dry.
Mm-hmm.
Windy but dry.
Mhm.
Cold, actually.
It was cold.
And I was like, you know, Dad's a great believer in watching the likes of UTV weather and all that carry on.
Mm-hmm.
So he watched the weather, given weight.
Bar best.
More or less, aye. Shows given rain. I guarantee it's not. I'm looking at the live radar here. But live radar is like anything. Every couple of hours it changes.
Yep.
So he went and done a few messages and came back and he said, right, I'll mow. And that was it. 6 o'clock.
So
Something
did
like
Rory not start mowing until 6 o'clock then?
that. Yeah.
Right?
No. This is the thing. So McLaren's normally mower grass. And then Rory had bought the mowers here, right?
Yeah.
So McLaren's were wrong, right, to start mowing. And then Dad went, I don't think he's going to get all that mowed down as quick as I need it to be mowed down.
Okay.
So then, after telling Rory, basically, McLaren's going to mow
Yeah.
it.
Was that Conor?
Aye.
Or Conor's connections anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get them to mow what they've mowed every year.
Yeah.
And then I think, I jumped in with Ryan Heaney, and anyway, he was like, I know.
Was Heaney mowing? It wasn't Rory.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay,
But-
right.
well, I think between the two of them anyway.
Right. Okay.
So
Heaney would be a good man on there anyway.
I jumped in with him, and then through conversation, he was like, I know. So we were wrong to see whether or not we could lift it in the Wednesday. And then we're told, obviously, I'll get McLaren's to mow it. And then we're like, I know we didn't expect anything, because obviously they've mowed your grass every year.
Mm-hmm.
And then half an hour passed. I know, have you the mowers? Getting hooked on now and get mowing. So between the 5, they mowed all the ground bar up at Artloan.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, jumped in with Heaney up at Brother's house.
Yeah.
Do you know something? See auto steer and GPS.
Does the 19
Every new tractor should come with it.
does their 195 have that?
So because whatever way it worked, anyway, it come with so it has the whole shebang on her. Just even see the fact that, like, you were obviously, so he did around the field
Mm-hmm.
twice,
Yeah.
more or less mapped it out,
Yeah.
and then went down the field once, turned her on, and then she more or less showed him, right, every line was the centre of the tractor.
Mm-hmm.
So he drove round, and then it showed a line where you need to line it up. He hit the button, tractor took over, she steered herself and just went up the field. And you were like, why is he missing? So he was missing like the 3 mowers width,
Mm-hmm.
mowing, missing, mowing, so he was going up and down like that, and then he went back in himself,
Right.
What, like,
No, a skiff missed in the field.
some job, honestly. Like,
Guy, but I don't know. There's part of that. I'd say, to be fair,
I know, right, if I was Michael Scullen, then yes, you could
I'm
get
sure
all
we
these
said that
fancy-
about automatic gearboxes years ago, and look at us now.
Um,
We were like, why would you want an automatic gearbox? Takes all the fun out of driving. And now you're like, please give me an automatic gearbox. I will not accept anything but an automatic gearbox.
unless you're a cheapskate like me, and it's handy just to have the manual
Oh,
for
like if
service.
Greta
No.
turned around and went, oh yeah, by the way, that's Amarok's manual, I'd have been like,
Well, the manual's better than fuel, the Amarok's.
that's true, but I just want it
Aye.
Yeah.
Anyway.
After living a life of luxury in the Bora, like, you know.
So
What?
it was
Didn't
mowed
end well
anyway
for
on the
it, but, you know.
Tuesday night, and through again chatting to Ryan, I was like, oh, I think we're lifting it. They're starting to lift it, like, say dinner time tomorrow, like 5 o'clock. I was like, aye, and I was like, oh, take it you're going to work tomorrow. Surely that was grand. Fast forward to the following morning. I think it was 7 o'clock or so. No, say a quarter past 7. Our boy come in and just said, oh, get in touch with them. You know, it's to rain like this after, or like around 5-6 o'clock. So go in touch. But all the drivers were
Away
told to go to work. So anyway, panic station set in.
Yeah.
All that crack of the day. I think Rory had a bit of a stressful morning.
Aye.
But anyway, so everyone worked out. He got as he talked about, a skeleton crew gathered together.
Then we had my tractor as well.
And then you arrived just after lunchtime or so.
12 o'clock. Half 12.
Aye. So anyway, all worked out. I jumped in your tractor for first load.
Mm-hmm.
Well, put it this way. Went for the first load, driven the road, got to the field, and my Apple Watch decided to tell me, do you want to record your workout?
Now you know how I feel.
Do you know something? It's not even the bounciness, right?
It's the changing gears.
No. It's your fucking seat. I have never, like, your
Aye.
seat is like someone, if anybody has ever had the sensation, right, of you're sitting on a trampoline and you've a fucker is bouncing beside you, and you're just up and down and you can't help it. No matter what you do, you can't help it. Your seat bounces you more than your tractor does. It's more comfortable to hover above your seat.
That's what I do. Seeing the shore road, I would nearly sit kind of off the seat and keep the foot to the floor.
But anyway, so that was grand. Got the first load. You got the video.
Yeah.
Any of the listeners that have us on TikTok, you know,
Aye,
seen it by now.
the one that says pure sound. That's not me driving.
That's
my
my
tractor. It's Conor driving.
It's
Conor and my tractor.
Yes. So did the first load. Got down round home. Was tipping the trailer up and we're like, back door's not opening. Fuck.
Do you think the back door didn't open, or is it just because it opened so late?
It opens that late that I was like, you know, put it this way, he was afeard of the grass hole piling in the back and that tractor going straight up in the air.
Which he would be, to be fair.
So
because occasionally she does, that trailer does
he was
make
like,
the odd bounce.
what has he bought? What has that scum boy bought? I was like,
Hey, he was fucking glad of her.
all I say is I was like, fuck, what has Michael bought us? Tail doors are opening. So then I rung you after eventually tail door did open, and I was like, I just come down here to fuck. You were like, no, I'm on with Rory, tear you away for a couple of hours. I was like, no, my house, now.
It's like, I am going to get the other trailer. There's nobody else here. There's 2 people on. We need to go. By the way, your tail door doesn't open. It's like, oh fuck.
Yes, and all that went through my head was, he told me he had seen this trailer in action.
I did.
No, but at that moment in time, I was like, you must have been fucking blind. But anyway, so that was grand. You took over your own tractor. You know it far better than I do.
You can adjust. It's because it's the same as my trailer, the other wee one. 'Cause
it's to do with how long the actual wire is.
She doesn't open to quite late as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because I remember reversing back and being like, oh, I can have this tipped up like nearly vertical before there's any grass falling out the back of the trailer.
So, again, what didn't also help that day was, for the first cut silage, it was a very heavy crop.
Seriously heavy.
Like,
and the skies were grey.
Abnormally heavy.
Yeah. I thought last year was heavier.
No.
We were born and raised in Thorntons and Tulloch. I'd have said Tulloch and Thorntons weren't as heavy this year.
Thorntons was heavier.
Was it heavier this year?
It took an hour and a half to bring home 12 acres. And it's not even over a mile. It's just over a mile away.
Funny, I thought we were in duels for longer.
That's because they broke down last year.
Oh yeah.
So we lost 2.5 hours last year to a breakdown.
That's right.
Whereas this year it took 12 hours with 6 people drawing.
Yeah.
Yes, it is long draws.
You don't have a single short draw.
But you've got good bit of fun on the road.
Aye,
When
fun
you're in
being
a nice
flung
tractor.
about the fucking place.
Um,
And every time you come around a corner, you're sitting waiting, and then you come and meet Rory's boys with the fucking lights on, and the Fate's lights are okay. But you meet
are
like,
they? I don't understand why they drive with every light on the tractor
yeah,
on.
you meet Callum or whatever on the road, and the next thing is like, ah!
But, so
The thing about your Silage was, I'll get to this in a bit in the comparison, but like, we literally that entire day we were looking and the skies were grey.
I was checking the weather. So what I found in regards to my multiple weather apps and the wee reviews and all that there, you could say,
None of them's worth a fuck.
the weather channel is mind-blowingly good. And see, whenever I actually looked into it after that day during the week and that, the IQ weather one is unbelievable. So what actually was happening with the weather that day, because we were basically the top of the lock,
Yes.
the wind was blowing the rain down in two belts, or you'd say two weather fronts.
Uh-huh.
One along sort of Glens Vantram
Yeah.
down through Belfast, Larne. The other was Oma and all that carry on.
Aye, because
so
of-
we missed every bit of it.
Literally, there was one point I think it come on to 7 o'clock and I could see spits in the one screen and I was like, oh no.
Oh, believe me, my father let me know about it.
But like it then got to 9 o'clock. But like we were landing in the yard and Paddy was like, well, how are you getting on? I was like, I did. And he's like, right, well come on, stop talking, go on. You know, and like literally your sister was more or less fucking frisbeeing the burgers through the window. Like, you know, you didn't even have time to stop and eat. That was because there was just such a race. Now that being said, there is that bit where you're kind of like sitting and you're kind of pumping, and there is that adrenaline because you're like, this is class. Like we just need to get this beat. Like, and it's like, right, come on, tip her up. Can you get in? Get out? Let's go. Like,
There was zero fucking about.
no, like none.
I didn't get a chance to do any fucking about.
Speaking, well, hey, I'll tell you one good thing. Sure, we didn't get a chance to really get any videos. Tom Bowden was some shit.
Oh,
I was
yes.
trying to figure a way how to bring that in. So, Tom did say
Right.
to me,
So you came onto the Staverstown Road and you'd have followed grass on. I was like, why the fuck's he trying to get me to stop? What's he broke now? And then you were like, look, there's a fella there, go onto the Instagram page. I know you never go onto it, but I have no signal.
for whatever reason, my phone, I had to use my work number to ring Tom in the end and call Becca for some. I had to speak to her about something, and she
I
didn't
think
know.
O2's just pot around.
Both my numbers are O2. It was my own SIM card, but it's just
Oh.
a bollocks anyway. But like Becca then didn't know the number, so she blocked my work number, not realizing, because I tried to ring her like 5 times, being like, "Come on, answer," like, because it was home time, and I was like, do you want to come up and like sit in with me?
She was like, no.
She thought it was someone trying to spam her,
Oh,
so she blocked the number. And then I finally got her another phone, and then she was like, "Aye." I was like,
but
"Oh,
yes, so you stopped me, and then the conversation I had with Tom on the phone was very rushed. And I'm like, right, well, hello, is this Michael? No, it's Conor. He has no signal on his phone. Here, I'll try and screenshot or something as soon as I followed. Oh, that's good. I think he was like just chilling. And I was like, fuck it, I'm flat out here.
But we were all in panic station, like.
Here, I'll try and help you out wherever this is. You just come to our way, do whatever you want. I think at the point he was laughing because I was just speaking fucking
Gibberish.
Yes.
Pure shit.
And because it was through the tractor's Bluetooth
Oh, aye.
and the sunroof was open, it would have been muffled. Fuck knows what it sounded like.
Probably
anyway.
heard wind and all, like, yeah.
But yes, never been filmed by a drone, but fuck, it's cool.
It is class. He's good on her too, like.
Yes, I don't know if he knew it was me in the massy or not.
Oh, he did
but put my hand up on him.
yeah. But like he done. To be fair, I'm a bit buzzed because he done a video of the 110.
Well, I assume that was probably the only reason he was there.
No. Like because
Because it is the novelty of a 110. Not, put it this way, show me another Silage fleet that somebody just comes along in a 110 and draws away.
some dickhead just intervenes with the whole and gets in the way.
Year 1, yes. Year 2, not so much. And Year 3, definitely not.
Aye.
I couldn't I let you go in front of me to do a wee bit of video
Aye.
at night time. But then you became paying the whole halfway down the road because it was that long a draw from my brother's house. It's 3 miles.
Yeah, you were
I
catching
was
up
fit
with
to
me,
catch up with you.
but you
And
couldn't
then
get past me.
Whenever you tipped up and you fucked off again, and I had to wait them putting up the parapet,
Yeah.
I then caught up to you to like
At the field nearly. You
I
were
was
coming
like-
on the field, and I was like, because you can do 26 and I can do
28
28 and I can do 22. So, but like
everything else there was 55k.
I think that's 6930. She's doing 36 mile an hour. Like that thing is fast.
None of them were slow.
No, like
Used to be I could keep up with them because I was driving like a loony bin.
yeah.
But I couldn't.
Oh no, that was me welded to the floor. See later on the night when it hit like 11 o'clock, like I was welded to the floor. Like I was just not stopping. Like, and the thing is, that still seems slow, but you have a couple of videos of you following me out the road, like, and I am, that is me flat, like literally bored to the floor. Just
so your foot was in the floor. That's good.
like,
But no, to be fair, there were 6 drawn. Tom's video again, just to go.
do you see he done a video of you? He put up this song today.
Today, right?
Go look. He put up a video of this song, and it's like kind of singing about farming and all, but it's just him following you around the field.
Oh, the
Like,
master.
just you.
No, never.
Yeah. Yeah, just you.
I'll definitely go and check it out. Thanks very much.
I think he's done that because reading between the lines, I haven't been speaking to him about it. Obviously, he's done the video of me.
Oh, like I wasn't expecting anything
equally
like that.
podcast and all too. So he's going right. Well, if I've done one of Michael, I'm going to have to do one of Conor. So he's done one of you as well.
Oh well, here I genuinely didn't expect.
I think your video's done better. A lot better.
I wouldn't say that. Well,
No. I think it has. I think the
Right.
song's trending. So I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like your video's doing really well. Yeah. Yeah, but like it was like Tom done a deadly job. But like to be fair, it was a good day out. Like we were flat.
well, basically there were 6 trailers drawn.
Yes.
At a point 6 trailers drawn.
Aye.
No,
there were 6 trailers.
I had a point. There were 6. I think.
No, there were 6 right until the end of the night.
I thought maybe wee Charlie had to go or like at 11 o'clock or something because I don't think he was drawn at the very end.
Charlie may have maybe not done the last 2 loads.
To be honest with you, we would have probably been completely beat if it wasn't for Conor McCauley and
Correct.
wee Charlie Johnson arriving.
Correct. Conor, yeah, Charlie was a big help with the driving, but Conor, he is an operator in that TM320.
Well, it's like I was saying, whenever I was waiting to tip a load, jumped out, went over to Daniel Johnson and Alicia and said hello basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
I think he listens.
Daniel is well, as far as I'm aware, he does, yeah.
Fair play.
But well, he only lives down the road from me, so I hope he would. But so I was like, well, what's cracking all? And he was like, I am fucking baffled at that 320. Whatever JCB has done to the 320 Red S, so the horsepower.
Sure, the 310s were the same.
No. But like the horsepower increase in the 320, the Red S, there's like so many horsepower per ton. Cause
Are they? I thought they were still fairly.
Gareth done a big thing about it. The Red S JCB, so you get the
Right.
419, the 420, I think,
Yeah.
and the 435. You get Red S, so there's basically more horsepower in all of them. That thing could fucking boogie. With a 10-foot grape on her, like
he was literally just flying down the silo and like out.
she made the 414 just look like a big ignorant toy.
The 414, funny, Dom was in the 414 at the tail end. I must give a mention out to Dom, because we were standing in the field at the start of the day, and he was in the rake at the time, and he was like, me and Rory have been listening to that podcast, seeing if we've got any shout-outs, and I goes, well, Rory in RMC contracts been mentioned a few times. He goes, he's like, but he's like, you just keep saying bunch of cunts. And I was like, well, I mean, am I wrong? So I said I'd give Dom a shout-out for...
But
the way they even worked it, so they were like, Conor was then like pushing the load up, and then Dom, he pulled away back into the corner, and then we were just reversing straight in,
and then he just bulldozed up,
and then Dom would then take the first big load with him, and then Conor would have come round and started poking at it as well, and the two of them had it cleared in no time. Like we would have been.
You went home, and I jumped in with Conor at the very end, and the 320 was borderline touching the roof at the end of it.
Sure.
And the 320 is not a very tall shovel.
Not compared to the 414.
414 couldn't go near the top.
We would have been bit if it wasn't for Conor McCauley, and that is quite. I'd say I'd go as far to say he saved the day. Like.
And yeah, you can definitely have to say drive.
Like that was because I remember seeing the second one coming to the pit, and I was just like, thank fuck.
You know, it worked out that I would have said it wasn't far away from a load and a half to the acre and all of it averaging. There was one field, a 13 acre field, if I'm thinking right, that had 30 loads of silage out of it, and that would average out to be about
What field was that?
18 foot or 14 tonners.
Aye, well, most of the chillers were 18 foot. I was 12 foot, and there was two.
No, you were 16
sorry,
foot.
16 foot.
Well,
then
if you averaged out the 20 ton Red Rock and your trailer basically averaged out to the same as everybody else's.
Yeah.
So, because funny, I said that to some of the uni friends, and James was like, why was there fucking 12 foot phasers or something drawn away at 30 loads? I was like, wanker.
Jesus, no, like that first year that wee Fraser's only a wee
Or were you having 30 wheelbarrows out of it?
After the first year that wee Fraser, like I was just like, I don't ever want to bring this wee Fraser to grass ever again.
I was the first load that year, right?
Yeah.
And do you know the way you start at the gate up at Jared's house? I got around to his garden and I was full.
Yeah. Sure, you've a video of me going up the hill. Like, that's funny because
you try to go and get another row, and he's like, "No, fuck off."
It's like there's like the evolution, because you see the first year it's like this tiny wee trailer. Then last year I might have overcooked it. Like
you didn't at all.
They're pulling that there. Like, do they not have? Does Macaulay's not have, like, is there a 6195 or what's their biggest one?
155.
Is that 155? Well, they're pulling that, like that D-Eng way 155, and it didn't look wee on behind the 155. And then I'm sitting looking at it, and then I seen pictures from last year, and I was like, Jesus, that was aggressive. Whereas that trailer I have on the...
But she's that... Do you know something? She's that light. That trailer full of grass, because it was bone dry. You have to remember the other thing was...
Well, not going up
a lot of it wasn't tethered out.
Yeah,
so
well...
you could say it was probably... This year, your 12-ton trailer would have probably had about 8 ton of grass in it, because there was obviously a bit of moisture in it from it being very green of itself. And the year before, probably no more than 8 ton in it with a bigger trailer just.
But that, like, definitely this year, like that with the slightly smaller trailer, like the tractor was far more comfortable. Like coming out of Tulla, like out the Stone Lane and then up that hill, like last year, and with the big trailer, like I was like, oh my god, this is hard on her. Whereas this year, you're like dead on.
Why was it first gear the whole way up the hill last year?
No, you still would have got the third, but you were seeing flames. You know, like you were kind of.
That just means the tractor's working.
Whereas this year you weren't really. I didn't see flames as much, and I tried to take a video at one point, and whatever way the phone was angle, I couldn't get at it. I was fucking raging. There's a bit where you come from Jared's, and you come off, you take a left and take a right, and then
it's a wee hill up that way. Yes.
And
did you do a wee flame?
She did, but I couldn't get it in video. I was raging. It was a good enough flame actually coming out of her, and I was like, oh boys, I am the fucking man. Oh, why is this not working? And I had the beacons off, had the lights off. I more or less was driving with the side lights on to try and capture it, and I was like, oh no, I can't get it.
You wouldn't believe too that obviously from it being rolled, compacted and sealed,
she's probably dropped.
It's
considerably.
Well, a reasonable amount. Like, yeah. To be fair, there's one thing actually, and I know Andrew Wright or Farm Theory definitely harps on about it. I'd love to see what a compactor really is like.
He's a big man for the compactor.
Now, 2 days of constant rolling the silage, I would say, is doing the exact same thing, because my uncle, I think, spent hours upon hours.
But you can roll it too much, I think.
No.
You think not? No. You don't just turn the top of the pit to mush?
No.
Definitely with third cut and stuff like that, you can roll it too much.
No.
Really? Okay, that's a math man.
The more you roll, I would say, the better.
I always thought that was the case.
Because all you're really doing is you're trying to obviously press the oxygen out of the grass. And obviously to leave it that it be more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because funny, one of his videos, it was he like put his hand into the silage and literally it went straight into whereas ours, no chance. So maybe the compactor, instead of 2 days of constant rolling, leaves it a few hours. But sorry, one small side note. So we had a comment on the YouTube thing, right? And I was essentially saying that the last time, whenever we were talking about silage, as in the last podcast, we really overlooked wagons.
My stomach just made a sound at that. I can tell you a good story about wagons, but anyway, go on ahead.
It's a very valid point.
Wagons are a fantastic job if you're a farmer who maybe it's yourself and say, a cousin or a brother or a mate or something who's happy to get in the buck rake, or a father or something to get in the buck rake, and it's just the two of you, and all your ground
There's other advantages too,
is
though.
beside the farm.
Longer chop length. Cows like longer chop length,
Hateful the buck rake.
but it's better for your cows.
Well,
Your cows and techs should, because a self-propelled harvester, they would prefer to chop it fine to fit more in the trailer.
yes,
Whereas the wagon, do you know, as you say, the wagon is handy if you've
a
100
wagon would
cows
suit me great.
and you've everything beside home, because
Oh.
it wouldn't make really.
A wagon would suit me great because of all the grounds here in a square.
But the only thing I would say about the wagon is you would probably have to change them fairly frequently, because if you break down a wagon, then you're stuck.
I'm not going to name names, but local listeners will know who I'm on about, and he listens too, so he'll know I'm on about him. I'm not going to name names, but I know a fella who bought a wagon and spent a wee bit of money on her, sorting her out. He updated a few things, because it turns out there's a couple of things changed, made heavy duty in the newer models, so he upgraded all that.
Yeah.
But there's not one field that has close to the house. And I was chatting to him, and there's a fella I work with has a wagon, and he rates the wagon highly, but a lot of his ground is close, apart from one or two longer draws.
Yeah.
He gets it all in 3 days. So I was really speaking to the man, and I was like, he goes, how long do you think it'll take to get whatever this is? And I was like, probably 3 days. He's like, I think I could live with that. I was like, right. And I was like, are you sure? He goes, well, have to learn, don't we? And I went, aye, suppose you do, aye. Anyway, I met him on Saturday there, and he's like, it started at 5:10 there this morning. This is about 4:30. I met him on Saturday evening. I was like, well, what way are you getting on? And he's like, I've 17 acres done. Yeah, it's just like,
He's 17 acres done.
aye.
How
And
far away was it?
there's not, I would say his shortest draw is 2.5 miles.
Oh, that's just madness.
I know, but he just, in fairness,
See if you
his reasoning was sound. He was like, look, I want to try and see what I can get. It's hard for me to get men, because he's like, everybody works full time, and I could turn around and just be like, right, I'm going to cut the day, and I'd send out a message, and everybody like, oh, well, I'm down in Dublin this week working, or I'm here, or I'm there, so he's like, I can do it myself, like, I'm fairly self-sufficient. I was like, I get that, but anyway, then the next thing, the wagon was up for sale, and it's just like, yeah, I sort of seen that coming. But to be fair,
to be anyway quick with him, you would need a fairly big tractor, and you would need a fair size of a wagon, unless if you're sitting with a farm and your block of ground is right around you.
Here,
Like whereas you're literally going from the pit to the gate of the field within 50 yards.
Suits your man, suits the likes of your men who maybe have all the ground around the house and have the cattle in all year round.
And then technically, you could use it to zero graze, but zero graze is a whole different kettle of fish again.
You're probably just better off with a zero grazer, I would say, if you're looking. I know boys do mow down and all for the wagon, but you're probably just better off with a zero grazer, I would say.
Well, they're two totally different concepts. Like, a zero grazer is drum mower.
Right.
So basically, a zero grazer, the drum mower just cuts it and just puts the grass in there, with trying to do as little damage as possible.
Yes.
Because whenever you damage the grass or cut it fine at all, it starts to heat.
Yes.
Whereas what all you're intentionally trying to do is cut the grass and put it in with a conveyor, obviously, into the trailer, and have it as little damage as possible.
Yeah.
For the last long. But yes, no, I just seen that comment and went, that's a very valid point. But like anything, there's ifs and buts about it too.
Well, I'll tell you now, this is moving on to a different side, like sort of way of lifting grass. So I went from working where Rory and all on yours to going to one of your neighbours.
That's right,
so
yes.
RD wrote to me yesterday and goes, hey lad, we're doing the long draw at the island, would you come up? And I was like, right, well, I have the high sides and all on the trailer at the moment, but sure, I'll come up with you, and me and your old boy, we can take him off in the yard. He's like, that'll do, be wide helpful, lad, if you could come up. So I went dead on. But hey, you learn some difference between going beside a JF 900 and going beside Rory in the 870, like, because Rory's more or less filling on top of you. The JF's blowing at the trailer, I would nearly say, rather than into it. Because
the spout's so much smaller.
The spout's so much smaller, and like,
plus you have 100 horsepower really, or 110 horsepower blowing, versus 650, something like that.
Something like that. But I see, to be honest, being out with, it couldn't have been more different to how we done yours. Like, and it was a really nice day as well. Like, the sun came out and all yesterday evening and all. Like, and it was like, we had, like, it wouldn't be a JF if there wasn't a couple of breakdowns in the field. Like, you know, that's
I supposedly jinxed it.
well, not that would happen, all right. But like, I remember whenever, like, Dad was living and we were doing the silage, like, you know, everybody would have come into the house maybe at say 5 o'clock, and we would have had tea, and Ma would have had like stuff made and all.
To be fair now, if it was a good day that day, that would have happened to ours or mine,
I just feel like,
because it did last year, but it was because
we were in for a wee bit in the morning last year. That's right.
no, during the day, like, it was about 3
Was
or
it?
4.
I thought it was like
we had a full on
11.
spread. Like, to be fair, like, my sisters would be very good, and they would.
Like,
put
they were,
on-
as I say,
go
they
and
were
get
out,
burgers and babs.
they
and
were in frisbee duty. Like,
They would be doing like a portion of what Lorraine Killen would do for one day when she's doing it every week.
we were like, but like, I suppose that was true. But like, you know, Devon's did all the grass cut, but they were like, look, well, if we can get the islands done to give dry for the rest of the week, we can tap away at it.
I think they done round home that night too.
Did they do that round home
For
that
a
night?
notice there this morning, it was all lifted.
Red. Well, fair enough. It wouldn't have taken that long to get it in with the 2 tractors. But I was like, so we were carting out. So it was what, 3 mile draw maybe, if even,
No,
from theirs to the islands.
2 mile.
2 mile. But
Maybe not even.
but to be fair, it was nice enough. It was nice enough out around. It was a Sunday. There wasn't that many people about. And I had the biggest trailer by like far, by a considerable amount. Like,
Yeah.
it's funny. You went from being the weeest trailer to the biggest trailer, and suddenly it's like, that's a big trailer, and it's like, But
Because they thought you still had the.
they thought I had the 8.5 ton Fraser, and then I show up with a 13 ton.
They didn't know you had the 13 ton.
No, I think Ronan got mixed up and thought I had the bigger trailer back then, because then Ronan was like, what way did we fill it last time? And I was like, sure, I had the smaller trailer with the sides and all off. And he was like, oh, aye. And the problem is the centre post, because mine's is made for the high sides.
Yes.
My centre post sits in the middle.
What happens then with the wee trailer? Because you have sides to make her fully squared up.
She sits differently. It's so basically in the big trailer there, she's split, because she's the full centre post. What they done with the wee trailer is she sits on top of the lower centre post, and it's one big long 13-foot length. It's lying in the shed there. Like, I haven't put it on since, because it's an absolute nightmare to stick on yourself.
Technically, then.
I think what I'm going to do is lop that piece off that I have at the minute and make a bolt on.
Just one single long piece.
No. I'll keep it the way it was. What I'll do is I'll make it that I'll chop it, and basically the centre post there at the minute, I'll chop the top level and basically make it that you can set it in.
Set it in.
And then what I'll do is I'll put a new centre post on now that slots in and kind of goes over what's there at the minute to hold everything tight. So basically you won't have that annoying centre post in the middle, because we had to play a game of basically pick a side.
You had to go either in front or behind the centre post.
Which is dead on, because we're lifting 10-foot rows. You can do it a lot slower. Like, the pace is a lot slower. Although, to be fair, Rowan's not feared of pushing that thing on.
No.
And it was, to be honest, see being beside another 110 lifting. Like, I know everybody used to be like, oh, Michael, you talk so much about the Sierra. No, it's just fate. Like, I even got a wild touch about it, the tractor pulling. Like, but to be honest, the two of us together, like, it was class. Like, I was buzzing.
I could tell.
And
yeah. Well, I'd never actually really seen the trailed harvester going really much before.
I really like pulling beside the trailed harvesters.
And whenever I jumped on whenever you were filling your last load again, like, there's a whole lot more watching to do with a trailed harvester, I thought.
I know.
And you are obviously going that much slower.
The thing is, like, because Ronan doesn't have this big... Are you tired, Conor? Because Ronan doesn't have this big tall spout that basically folds over and down, you're, like, as I say, you're blowing at the trailer. So you have to be in the right position, because Ronan's not going to be able to just turn around and basically blow over all your high cribs.
No. Would she even have the pair of shot along her spout?
Well, I probably would, to be fair. Like, you know, like, that thing of his would probably do a 1050. You'd just be slow.
Yes.
But you probably could pull a 1050 where, like, there's boys put 1050s in Fates. Like, I'd like to see her in a 10X personally. I think the 10X is a great harvester. I trailed beside a 10X that was on the back of a TM130 with James Heaney a weenie years ago, and that 10X could blow grass. She was lifting 30-foot rows and blowing them. Like, it was a good job. Like, and like, more or less with James, you nearly could have sat in the one place. Now you can't do that with the bigger trailer. But
yes.
For next year, I think what I would maybe do is I'll make a modification to the side so I can put the high side or the low sides on.
Yes.
And I'll maybe change the front. I'll maybe change one of the cribs, the front crib as well, so it means they can put like a tilted crib on her, the way their other trailers are all made. So he can nearly blow over to finish the full load at the front.
Oh, so you mean instead of like a straight to make her square around,
you basically
like have her as a slant?
Have a slanted crib. So, but even in the middle of the day, then we all went into Rowan's house and all and sat and had like a cup of tea and a wine of sandwiches and stuff, and the pace was just so much slower, and like I was a lot nicer. Which I'm contradicting myself because I said with yours there's a wild rush. Like there's a serious rush. Whenever we were at yours, it was like, right, we need to go, let's go, keep the pace on.
But that's beef cattle silage versus dairy cattle silage. You know.
Oh, I like.
Sort of. Yes, there's argument for beef cattle having good silage, lower the meal bill, and they do better from it.
Definitely, the beef men now are starting to do it nearly the same way as the dairy men, like.
But definitely, like, our silage last year with being caught out with a weller, like everyone else, and only getting the second cut done a month late. Here, the silage analysis was a disaster.
But this is the thing. This is why I argue is like if you're a week late on your first cut, it's not the end of the world.
Oh, it would baffle you the difference.
You think so? Because like as I say, the first cut, everyone's like, it needs to be in, and if we don't lift it at 3:02 p.m. like on a Tuesday, we're bit, and it's like then the second cut, it's like just get it in, just get in. I don't care if it's dry for 3 hours, just get it in.
Probably an example is there's Gear McNaughton's. And they do religiously have about 4 cuts a year, or 5 cuts if need be. And they wear bales up until this year and they have a silo put up. But, like, they've cows peaking at 65 litres a day on silage.
Just on silage?
And meal, like.
So they're still feeding meal, like?
Just so the cow will eat more with pure leafy stuff. So intakes will be higher. And they'll obviously... The leaf is where the goodness of the silage is.
Well, yeah.
So
compared to stem.
And then, stem's just pure fibre, like.
Yeah.
So, but what else? Is there anything else we need to talk about? Because it is.
No, we're nearly an hour and a half through.
Fuck.
And we still have the main topic to talk about, like. But before we do that, sponsor.
Yes.
Right. So, big ups to Design Crafts, James Duffin, for the engine table. I say this every week, if you've blown up your SR20, because that happens.
Yes, thanks for Jonathan Crath and blowing up the first engine in the Chaser for we now have a turbo.
That's correct.
We didn't sponsor it.
We didn't sponsor. Well,
we just kept it.
He gave it to me to try it in the B204, and then it was angled completely the wrong way, and it's fucked anyway. So it was like, okay, it's now Patsy, and with Paddy there as well. Like, but
if Lucas Aid or Monster Energy want to sponsor us, work away.
But anyway, so yes, James can make a table with whatever you desire, whatever engine you want, whatever top you want. We've got checkered plate because we're scroungy bastards, but you can get a real nice.
It was sponsored, so it was good enough. So any top on it.
Fuck, if it was out rusted tin, I've been good enough. Like, a little corrugated iron have been dead on. Like, but
hard to say a drink on it, but sure, you never here it would have worked.
Sure, he would have worked around it, but
he'd probably try to grind it flat.
He can do glass, and if you want to use your pistons or whatever his feet, well, he can do all that too. So good man, James, for sponsoring the pod.
And he also can put a light in it.
That's true. Right, main topic then.
Yes.
So bit late getting to the main topic, but to be honest,
if you're still listening to us, hopefully
this works out well in our favour, because neither of us have much in the big old skids or one wheel peel compartments. I have a couple.
Well, considering that my notes say nothing.
Yes. So we've got a bit of time to do the main topic, because we'll be through our final bit in like 10 minutes. So
30 seconds.
So that's me talking here, like. Well, anyway, with Donegal.
Because remember, you still have to leave me home.
Oh, fuck, for the third time, with Donegal coming up on the horizons, in what, 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. So
it's not this weekend. We're recording this on Monday the 3rd. It's now quarter past 11 at night.
It's about 20 days from now. No,
18.
Anyway,
so it's not this weekend or the weekend after.
The weekend
it's
after
the weekend
that.
after that.
Yeah, I can't count. So
neither could I.
And neither can Shay Lahern because he fucked up King of the Cone last year. But anyway,
did he?
I don't remember. We've been giving him an awful touch for it all year.
Wait, did he not do enough whirly burlies?
No, he didn't. I hope he hears that actually. He, as far as I'm aware, Shay listens. So yeah.
Take 4, Michael. Well, what's working in our favour?
So we've decided. I'm still trying to work and get Nathan Core. Whether he comes on or not, I don't know. But that means if we release one now, the next podcast we release will be the pre-Donegal episode, which will be released that weekend Donegal, and then post-Donegal will be released then after that.
Fortnight after, aye.
Yeah. So this one's coming out this weekend.
Aye.
Which means the next one's coming out on the 23rd. So the next one will be pre-Donegal.
Aye, the next one will be
pre-Donegal / while we're at Donegal.
Yes.
Yes.
So we can listen to ourselves again. Anyway. Yes.
So I'm still trying to work in Core. I might still maybe try and
get
that.
So if you're listening to this
and you know Aidan Core, send him our way. Anyway.
What I meant to say was, if you're listening to us on the 23rd, and you hear Aidan Core, we got him. But if you don't...
Straight facts. So we thought, since we'd done the D-Turbo episode and we kind of got into this whole cult cars thing, we thought it would be a chance to give the sort of the XE10 chassis I mentioned. So that's your Lexus IS200, your Altezza, and your 300. So
IS300, yes.
Anybody who hates Lexus, you may turn it off now. But
I prefer you didn't.
But to be fair, we'd prefer you didn't. So people are going to be like, why the fuck are you doing a podcast on Lexus IS200?
Why
that's
not?
Literally whatever. Yeah, but that's what people are going to say. Do you know what I'm going to say? Everybody gets on like they hate Lexuses. Everybody's like, oh, fucking Lexus. I know in Lamenter. I do it. But as I was told before, one GFE, one good fucking engine. You cannot kill them bastard and things.
Well, some people can, but that's probably due to poor maintenance.
Pure negligence. Like you look at the amount of death like Lexus get. It's unbelievable the amount of abuse they can take.
It is. Right. I was thinking this today because whenever you said, "Oh, well, we'll do this as a topic," I was like, "Right." I'm in the parlour. I've got my thinking cap on, or as I like to do, just my hood up because the midges are right in the fucking head of me. So, I sort of thought about it, and I thought it was very true that, you know, Altezza, IS200 or IS300 are very comparable to one other car, and that, you know, there's so many ways to do them up nice.
Yes.
And they're very hard to make fucking well looking.
Yes.
Well, any car can be made well looking very easily, but that's all to do with everybody's
There's
taste.
so much aftermarket support out there.
Salvias are wild hard to fuck up, making them well looking.
You have to really go out of your way to fuck up a Salvia. It's the same. Like
they all suit the different body kits. You can make them aggressive looking or not. Same with IS200s and that.
You can have a TRD kit, like factory TRD kit, lowered, looks dead on. V1, dead on. Go for your BN sports kit, dead on. Origin, Vertex, whatever.
Yes.
Like, as long as you have the right set of wheels.
Yes.
No bother.
And as long as you're not automatic.
Big shout out to Adam McCartney there. It was, well, pardon me, he had his wasn't a V1 bumper, his was a Logano bumper.
No,
was it just a V1 smoothed?
It was a V1 smooth. I personally, whenever I seen the non-smooth ones, preferred the non-smooth
You're just going to
ones.
fucking kick him in the stones. Do you want to just insult his entire family? You've already insulted his gearbox. Now you're insulting his bumper.
Well, it's not his gearbox anymore.
Well, true. Now it's a Golf R,
but no, it's not an attack. I loved his car. Like whenever it's more so. Whenever he got the car, I had no idea much about them. It's just like funny. I was talking to Chris Higgins there, and what is now, was Pat's bar, but is now
Thunder's
Thunder's
Rest.
Rest. And like he was saying, you know, I know fuck all about a car until I buy one, and then I find
Yeah.
out and know everything about them. Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's very, very true
Well,
point.
that's
Like.
because Chris is a fucking lead foot and basically has no mechanical sympathy, so he'd need to learn. Like,
Well, like, I sort of was a bit disappointed to hear that he didn't have the twin cam anymore, because it was like, you know,
well,
you could have been
especially with the big shootout and all Aidan Gord done for.
But he said he more or less hinted that he would have another one for it, and I was like, fair enough. If you
I
do.
don't know. I'd nearly rather see him go around that track in a chaser.
I would be interested.
Like, you know, and he's the right man for her. Like, to be
but,
fair, like, he one thing about Chris Higgins is he can fucking pilot a car. Like,
Yes, and aye, he's done some things like in
some questionable
PTA that
sure, hey, we're
she's
not.
given a bit of heartache to, I suppose, over
Aye.
the years. But no, what I was meaning was like they're hard to make look well looking, you know, and there's that many different ways to make them look well too. But the other thing about it is, so as we were looking up before this, started making them in
98.
98,
98.
and
Do
then
you-
they
Here's a fun fact. Do you know who the fella that designed the twin cam also designed the XE10 chassis?
he may as well just come to Ireland now.
Literally. Sure, the twin cam came to Ireland. Then the Lexus is the next big Irish thing. He also designed the GT86. So the same fella done the A86, the IS200, 300 Altezza, and then and then he done the GT86 as well.
They're I don't think ever going to get really that big because not enough of them was sold.
But then I don't know, because like
A twin cam is a Corolla at the end of the day.
yes,
They were dime a dozen back then.
yeah.
IS200s clearly were sold at a reasonable price.
Well, I don't.
There's fucking loads of them everywhere.
Yeah, there is, but there's loads of GT86s too.
Where?
Well, maybe not so much here, but like, you know, a lot of people have them who just drive them. Like, you think about it. Like, when would you really have seen that many Lexuses pre?
You go to Donegal Rally, right?
Oh, I know now, but like,
No, but what I mean is GT86. You don't see more than 10. At the very most, you'll see 10.
sure, was it
You'll
Donegal?
see 100 different chasers.
Sure, Donegal.
You'll
20.
see 1,000 Lexuses.
But there's 1 year Donegal, I think I seen like 4 Sierras. So like, you know, and there's plenty of Sierras about the country.
Well, that's well.
The people just might not be taking. Anyway, this we're not talking about GT86s.
I'm
although
not
much to
hitting
Rob
on them.
Ball's
To be
sadness.
fair, like 2 McGarry brothers have 2 of them.
Yeah, it's maybe someday they'll get their talk about too. But for now, we'll focus.
Yes. What I was meaning by, because they were made for 6 years,
Yeah,
there was a fuck ton of them
7.
made.
Yeah, 98 to 05.
I know they were first out in January 99. It
Oh, okay.
said. I'm going by Wikipedia, by the way. I don't know if it's fucking right or not.
I thought the Altezzas were 98.
Altezzas, I think, started in Japan 98. Aye.
Yeah, because I'm
So
near
the
sure my
production
Altezza
started-
was 98.
So,
She was S-Reg.
so the Altezza, I think, came first,
Yes.
technically in Japan, and they were with the Yamaha engine.
Yeah, so they had the beams.
Yes.
So they had the 4-cylinder beams.
So
engine.
they were a sporty Toyota.
Well, the thing is, the Lexus was supposed to be a luxury car.
The Lexus came with a
Well,
one good fucking engine, and
well, the whole idea of the Lexus was she was designed to be lazy, just nice, like good, lovely idle,
Yes.
like real smooth car. Like, they're not big horsepower. They weren't ever supposed to be. They were supposed to be like the equivalent to like a 320, like 320i sort of. Here, my stomach. Like sort of like a 320i or
Are you
like
hungry?
like an Audi A4 or something along the lines of that. That was their competition.
yeah,
And like, to be fair, like the Japanese stuff, all of that era were all grossly underpowered for what they were. Like, take my 300 for example, is, you know, it's got a 2JZ NA, but it's slow as fuck because it's just the automatic gearbox and it's designed for pure comfort. So it's so inefficient, which means it's an absolute dose in fuel. LS400s are the same. They are such a slow car. Take that engine out, stick it in an IS200 with a manual gearbox, and it goes like shit off a shovel.
yes. Well, like, so basically, there was a lot of them obviously made. So
Yes.
there's, you know, for now, what would we say, 7-8 years they've been, you know, they've started to gain this last year or two more like cult.
100%.
But before that, hedge beater.
Yeah, well, you see it the same. Like
You bought them for £500, like.
twin cams were a hedge beater. Twin cams came up. The next thing that came a hedge beater was a Sierra. Like, boys literally used to say you couldn't give a Sierra hatch away, and now Sierra hatches are like fucking £8,000.
Yeah.
You know, like 2-litre twin cam manual Sierra hatch and a set of super lights. Like, you know, you don't really like a SAF. When boys kit them, they have to do a wee bit more. The hatches, apart from a rubber spoiler and a set of wheels and coilovers, there's not really that much more you need to do to them, really.
No, they're very cool.
I love hatches, even though I shouldn't be admitting that, because at the same time, fuck the hatches. But, you know, like, they were the hedge beaters. Then the next thing, boys moved to the Lexus. Now, as you're saying, the Lexus are now kind of, like, I remember a lad making a very valid point. Was it Barry Kane of UGD one time? We were chatting, and he said, like, back when we were all growing up, everybody's profile photos was like twin cams. Like,
Yeah.
everyone was on with twin cams. See 14-year-olds now,
IS200s.
all IS200s, all their cover photos. Like, you go on to, like, I would say, like, any of them, like, oh, why has it left my head? Car X Racing. Like,
It's literally just a standard IS200 where the wheels are coming through the arches of it because it's that low.
And they've sprayed them bright orange. Like, you know, like, it's
and like TRD stickers and the
and like that's what everybody's doing now. So all them young lads coming through, they all think Lexus is, like, I remember talking to, I think it was Mark McAteer, like, this is going back like 10 years ago, and I just bought the Sierra, and he was like, aye, but like, he's like I just never liked the Sierra limiter. He's like, there's just something about it. He's like, I never liked the Sierra limiter, whereas I was like, I love the 2-litre twin cams. Like, there's a real distinctive note off them. I love them. Don't get me wrong. 84 limiter and a twin cam, obviously, meant. But they were kind of looking at the Sierras, going, right, okay. Like, Sierra's like a pure beater car. Like, when Fergal McGee had his, like, he was running about with all the rest of them. They all had the twin cams and stuff, and he was treating his Sierra like an absolute dog. But, like, you could, because, like, I remember when he sold it, like, he got big money for it, which was £2,200 at the time, and everyone was like, Jesus Christ, that's big money for a Sierra. But she was cosy kitted, full leather interior, Escort cosy wheels. You know, like,
Try and do it now.
What would that car be worth now? Like, you know, in fact, that car's not very far away from here, because I know who owns it now.
Well, here's one for you. So when I done the Summer England, it was 2017.
Oh, I love this story, because it's just so...
Right, so I was fit to go on to Auto Trader, and there was a black IS200 Sport.
Yes.
With 80,000 genuine mile, full service history, for £850.
Yeah.
And I was tempted at the time.
Yeah.
Didn't go for it. I did ring Spoiler Centre.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I have a notion, lads, of buying a car here. How much would it be to full V1 kitter? So V1 bumper, TRD skirt, and TRD rear lip. It was costing more to buy the kit than it was to buy the car.
Let alone painting it.
And then I was like, by the time I'd paint that, wheels, coilovers, I'm looking at $3,500. Is that car going to be worth $3,500?
My stomach's just reacting in pure pain to that statement, like.
Because at the time, I only really went to England, so I could save enough money to buy a Type R at that time.
Yes.
But it just goes to show you the way things obviously change. But what I will say is, I was in Oma one night at Silver Birch, country night.
Yes.
And I had a photo. I think it was in a set of rotas, white rotas, a yellow, either 200 or an Altezza.
Mm-hmm.
Basically looked the same as Adam's car, only it had the ducktail spoiler, which is the one thing. Anyway,
I liked his car without the spoiler.
No. Spoiler everything.
Fair enough.
It's like a sunroof. You wouldn't listen to me, and then you did, and now you wish you had of.
Sunroof. Full tilt all the time.
Always take my advice. Never take yours. But anyway, I seen that car and thought it was fucking class. Like, just really cool. Do you know something? Nice, simple and cool.
Mm-hmm.
And now whenever you go to the rally, sure, it's really fucking hard to do it, you know.
Hey, a lot of, like, it used to be at the rally, you'd seen a silver one, loads of silver ones, you know, boys maybe not even lowering them, you know, hooping them, welding diffs, whatever, and as you say, pure hedge beater. See now, like, Lexus is like, it's now the done thing to have your Lexus cool. Like I remember even Donegal 2015, there wasn't even that many Lexuses on the scene back then. That was back when Sierras were still. There's boys different Sierras with like Steely Dans and stuff like that on, and boys not giving a fiddlers about them. Like, and you know, then all of a sudden they started to go up in the price, and people were moving to Lexus to buy them and wreck them or whatever. But like I would say even now, like anything that comes in, most boys are tinting them, lowering them, kitting them. Like as time goes on, we will see less and less ratch Lexuses going.
Well, like I would say IS200s and that now. So I'll focus more on them for the meantime, and sort of Altezzas, because there's very little people who have converted 300s or to the same degree.
Yeah, like I'll talk about my 300 in a bit,
but I think they've got to the stage where everyone is sort of obviously making them very cool, but there's nobody really going to restos yet. They're starting to weld. Well, with the welding stage has come.
No, I seen a post last year about a fella asking for diamond cut Lexus Sports, getting like Lexus Sports done up, diamond cut it back to original. That was in a red one, like red Sport. Yeah, we're getting to that stage. Look at Calvin Kirby's and what he's doing now. I know Calvin
show car. But still, like it's not as if he's, is it DH Autos that do the twin cams?
Mm-hmm.
It's not as if he's going and getting her fully done underneath.
He may as well with the amount he's done.
But what I mean is he's going for show car, like still in bags and all that car.
Yeah, well, okay.
So that was the next obvious evolution of his car. Whereas what I'm meaning is it's not as if you've owned the car or you're buying it to like you're selling the IS200 fully done underneath.
We're not that far away from that stage. Come at me if you want. We're not that far away from that stage at this point. Like, because it wasn't too long ago we were saying that we knew they would go up. I remember saying in the group chat about it a weeny years back, and everyone was like, "No, it's going to be like 15 years before Lexuses go up in price. There's too many of them on the road." And I was like, but what's going to happen when there's that many of them? Boys will take them to the nuts corner, drive them into walls, drive them into hedges, go to Donegal, burn them, as we seen in Donegal 18 at the Carton Centre when one of them went on fire. Like, now 5-6 years later, people are like, "No, like I don't really want you to damage my Lexus. I kind of takes my pride and joy." That's like the way they're going. And then because like they are so reliable and you can dog the fucking life out of them, that as time goes on, it's just a thing as boys are like, no, like the Lexus is the car to have. Like even now, the last couple of years, like Lexuses are winning King of the Cone. Like Dylan Wilson won King of the Cone last year in a Lexus.
Well, there was one thing I've noticed with King of the Cone last year. So whenever you take away the wet track and you have it dry and obviously you have the cone set down, the quickest car nearly around it is the twin cam.
Yes.
Cause small.
Yes.
And they just do go round circles very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Lex not far behind them.
No.
It's whenever you get to the chaser and the
Even
lights
the
of the big car.
Yeah.
They're quite slow around the cones.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would have said that one side of King of the Cone last year was drier than the other side, and was.
It's hard to know fully like what's going on there, and then the day it is all about a crack. But like it's hard to know what could have happened because both Gary and Dylan came in the last run, and both of them kind of made a bit of a fuck up, but Dylan recovered quicker. So like Gary, maybe I'll be back this year for number one. We'll see. We'll probably talk about that more in the next podcast when I'm roasting the fuck out of them all. But I just hope my car's ready for it. Like,
I would like to think it would be. Yeah,
I hope my car's ready for it. Like, I'm going anyway, even if it's not. I'm taking her down regardless. But
so, in regards to the 300, they only came in automatic.
And so, do you know what's quite ironic? In America, which is land of the automatic, you could get them with a manual. Which I think
they didn't get a 200 though.
I don't know if they got 200. I don't think
they only got a 300.
I think they only got 300. Yeah.
So they didn't get an Altezza. They had no interest in them, but they only had 300s.
Yes, as far as I'm aware, because even there's a lot of American pages that are like, why are IS300 owners like this? I was like, well, there's actually 200s and Altezzas as well. But yeah, I think it was a W58 box that you could get in the stores. Come in
like
America,
the NA SOAR, or did you even get an NA SOAR?
You got the V8 SOARs.
But I mean, like 2J.
Pass.
Fuck knows.
Pass.
Right.
Don't know enough about them. I think it's SOAR. Maybe it's the Resto. One of them. No, the Resto was Japanese only. Pretty sure it's SOAR or SC400. Maybe is what it is out there.
No idea.
Anyway,
so the 300 more or less only came in automatic.
Over here,
but folk put 200 boxes into them.
Yes, so you can buy an adapter from Crest Motorsport. Used to do it back in the day. Now Lexi Brake would be the main people to do it, or there's other people who've made their own.
It's like a cheat code to getting, I suppose you say, more brake out of.
Well, there's a few
things.
Things you have to do. I think it's either Phoenix Motorsport or PT Electrics. Can't remember which one does a kit for the IS300s as well. That basically you plug into the ECU, because if you just manually convert a Lexus, you lose a lot of, you lose traction control, so you don't get any traction control ever.
Right.
And it brings on like a few lights in the dash. You get one. It's there. I think it's Phoenix Electrical does a kit that plugs in that basically makes your car run normally.
Okay.
So you can have the normal clocks, and basically it tricks the car to stay in park and all that there. So it means you don't need to change ECUs or any of that.
Yes.
So that's something that can be done with them. 300s converted wouldn't be that common. I sold the Altezza. We've heard about it every podcast. Ironically, the podcast which I should be going on about it the most is the one where I'm talking about it the least. But saying as we're on the topic of the 300s, I bought my 300 3 years ago with the full intention of basically, because the Sierra wasn't back.
Yes.
I was like, right, well, I need some. I've sold the Altezza, and now I've been to a couple of drift days and went, what have I done? So, but bought the 300. Literally the night I left at the 300, I went and got coilovers. Went and bought wheels.
That was that night.
Yeah, went and bought wheels out of Japan. Had that all lined up. Then I bought a gearbox. I bought a prop shaft. I bought the slave cylinder. I bought the pedals. I bought all that. The only thing I don't have is the bell housing, which I know where there's one sitting.
Yeah.
It's currently in a car and I have to take it out, but it's not going anywhere. It's sitting there for me, full clutch, everything. So, but I couldn't. I was driving the Lexus daily for a while, and I put considerable miles on it. But my God, what a car!
Comfy.
See, I was like sitting on a cloud. No body roll compared to the Bora. Super comfy. Heated seats. It's a 2002 car. Heated seats, electric controlled seats.
And nothing was broken.
Nothing was broken. That car is
just shitting fuel.
Horrible. My Amarok gets better mile per gallon. Significantly better mile per gallon.
But so the 300s obviously weren't very common. When manual swapped, are they better going thing than a 200?
Oh fuck yeah! So a fella I used to work with, Anthony Lagan, had a 300 the same time I had the Altezza, and we drag raced them till 60 mile an hour out, say Cookstown. And the 3 litre with
scientific. Well, how did it go?
The 3 litre with the torque just comes on, and she just went.
Oh.
The Altezza, because the VVTI's higher up the power band, we both started 30 mile an hour, second gear, whatever. Anthony overtook me. Anthony was by me whenever I come on to VVTI, and then after that we were neck and neck. But before that, my Altezza was she wasn't a far cry off your Type R when your Type R was standard.
Yeah, well,
you'd have pulled the car length on me, but then you've got rear wheel drive versus front wheel drive, and as much as I love the 3SG Beams engine, the K20 is probably a bit better of an engine.
Okay, yeah.
But the sound of my Beams was a fucking class sounding engine. She had some limiter.
Altezza, I would say, is the nicest limiter out of the 3 of them.
Oh yeah.
But to be fair, I haven't really heard much of the 300 limiter.
Sounds like a 200.
Oh,
a bit more of a throaty, but NA still sounds.
To be fair though,
you stick a turbo in a 200 and it sounds. The limiter's far better.
Well, there's the other thing I was going to say. There's 3 years now. Well, a lot of them are Regal cars probably that are doing them, but everybody's turbo in IS200s now.
Well, Regal was the cheat code for an IS200, because Eugene had it down to a T. He knew exactly what to do. He had the right wheels, he had the right kit, tinted, decked, turbo kit, and it was just IS300 after IS200 after. He just knew the formula. He had it down to a T. Just all he needed was a different colour, and you could always tell a Regal competitions car.
Yes,
but that's not an insult. That's a compliment,
because they were good looking.
Oh, fucking deadly! And Eugene had every one of them tiled. And see that car driving up the lane, because he does it with the chasers and all too. And then driving up that lane, and the way he has them all sitting. deadly, like.
Yeah,
Class.
it's down to a fine art.
Pardon me.
So then your Altezza.
Say the line, Conor.
No, I'm trying to think of what way to bring this in.
The Altezza, so okay, so for a bit of background for those of you who maybe don't know so much about the Altezzas, the Altezza was the Lexus's actually more poverty spec sporty cousin. So with a Lexus,
it was actually a Toyota, not a Lexus.
yes, Toyota Altezza. Well, Lexus is Toyota's luxury division.
And they're technically an RS200, not
yes,
an IS200. So they're an RS200.
and you got the AS200 as well, which was a 6-cylinder Altezza.
Huh?
Yeah, you got a 6-cylinder Altezza called the AS200.
Are they the one GFE or?
Yeah, they're one GFE.
What?
Yeah.
So you can get an Altezza with
yeah.
a one G.
Yes. But everyone was just like, people would be like, oh, I've got my Altezza with the 6-cylinder engine. Like, it's a fucking Lexus. It's like, no, it's not. It's an Altezza.
But technically,
it's basically
it's
just a worse spec Lexus. So the difference was the Altezzas had the 4-cylinder Altezzas had the beams, which is like breakthrough in an engine in advanced manufacturing or something. The engine was made by Yamaha, who also made the 1JZ.
Yes.
So the beams was a real high hitting, like I think it revved out at like 8,300 RPM. Like oil, like all high revving engines, they like oil.
Yeah.
VVTA was kind of like the answer compared to VTEC, although I would have said the VVTA is a bit lazier compared to VTEC, having put myself against you on many occasions. The Civic was getting away most times, like.
Well, VVTA is just basically 2 valves per cylinder, or is it is it the same sort
variable
of
valve timing?
I had to Google because we're both. It's just got that time of the night. It's nearly 12 o'clock, and we're both fucking stupid.
I don't want to say the wrong thing, cause
exactly, yes. So VVTA is basically at times when the valves open and close.
Yeah.
Probably to try and make the most power. Whereas VTEC is another cam loop.
yes.
So that's all it is.
The VVTA wouldn't be as good as the.
I'd wonder though, mid range would the Altezza
No, the
have
Altezza was shite. Mid range,
Okay.
honestly.
Just straight up, it was
like
shite.
I remember, so I think I've told this story numerous times in the past, but like Eglinton drift days, everyone was like, "Michael, stop clutch kicking." Like, you know, you can drive it just on the throttle, and I was like, "No, to get this thing to sing, you need a clutch kick." And I was like, "Michael, no, you don't need a clutch kick. That's really hard in your car." I was like, okay. So I decided I would go out and try and drive and let her hang a bit and just, you know, do the initiation, and like she'd fall to like 4,000 RPM, and I would try and drive her. And what happened? Blew the clutch out of her because she was lagging herself, killing herself. She killed the clutch out of herself. See, whenever I drove it my way, I clutch banged that thing like absolute fuck, and literally no issues.
I no problem at all. Just
No, but you've been out with me, and you've literally
yes, I
seen
was
my left foot's dancing. Like,
yeah.
you know, handbrake, clutch bang, steer off the throttle, go the other way, clutch bang, like, and it just took it like a fucking champ.
But I think clutch bangs are grand as long as you're not like basically.
You need to be on the
dragging
limiter clutching. Like, if you're clutch banging her at like 6,000 or maybe 5,000 RPM, yeah, you'd be pulling the life out of her. But like, I was clutch banging her on the limiter. Like, that was for me it worked.
Well, you had a 200 too as well at the time.
Yes.
And obviously you now a 300. This is obviously very light grace. What time are we on
150.
now? Alright.
This is going to be 2.5 hours long. Like.
Fuck, right. Well, you've had all 3 of them.
Yes.
What would you say is the best?
Altezza.
Altezza?
Yeah, but for the noise. Well, I can't give the IS300 a fair doing, but I remember whenever I was running about with Anthony Lagan before he went to Australia, like,
he wasn't feared of her.
No. Like, you remember in Gorch and Glens and all, like,
yes,
back in...
where unfortunately he lost control.
Yes, yeah, that's
and
exactly what happened.
Held the loss.
He just managed to keep holding her. She was flying left to right on him constantly. Fair play to him, like.
Yes.
But do you remember that night in Gorch and Glens, the 3 of us all went up, and it was, he knew how to drive her, and see, he could chase me when we went to Eglinton together and all, like, he could chase me around Eglinton quicker than I could get him, and just the low down torque, like, was just helpful. Now,
yeah.
I don't think the 300 sound near as good, the Altezza, I would have said, was the perfect perfect sort of power for rear wheel drive people, for people who maybe don't necessarily want a car that's terrifying to control. So, for example,
I differ.
well, the Altezza, like, even on a wet road, you could give her first, second, and third, and she wasn't going to kill you. You know, like, and I'm not talking sliding. I'm just talking you put the foot down. She wouldn't necessarily spin up unless you clutched her. Whereas take the likes of chasers, big power chasers, my Sierra Cosworth, etc. Put the foot down in the wet, and they just try to kill you.
Yes.
The Altezza wouldn't have tried to kill you unless you made it. Whereas the Lexus Silvias and all that sort of stuff,
everybody's putting more power into them, so obviously,
yeah, and you need to be careful on them unless you're a champion drifter or just a very ballsy pilot, which I am not.
Well, the other thing I suppose with them is they've not mad power.
No.
Most of them came with LSDs.
Yes.
From factory.
Well, Altezzas and like IS300s all came with LSDs as far as I'm aware.
And 200s, there's that many sports.
Sports, yeah.
So plenty of them about.
Yeah.
Relatively easy to get.
Well, for overnight, diffs for a Lexus went from like £150 to £700. It was like, what the hell? One person done it, and everybody else just follows it. It was like, well, he's getting £700. I'm going to put mine up for £700. And now that's just what they are. Sarah diffs were the same. They went from £350 to £650 overnight.
But for the likes of what's very popular over here, you know, for that power band is different, and they're not that overly big.
No, they're the perfect wreckabout car. Like, you can slide second gear in them. Like a good fit one will maybe do maybe do third and all that. But like, you know, they're a good car for your your normal wreckabout.
The perfect starter car.
Yeah, I've seen this. This is deja vu.
What?
Us talking about Lexuses and you and that super dry jumper while being on a microphone. This is deja vu. Weird.
Probably because we have talked about it before, and I've probably been in this super dry before.
It's like, it's you know what, people can say what they want about the Lexus. So here's a question for you.
Go.
You are given, I'm not going to say a blank check, but you're given an XE10 chassis.
Yeah.
You can pick whatever you want. You can get it whatever way you want, put whatever wheels you want to do. What are you choosing, and what are you going to do?
So, good question. I love yellow on them.
Okay.
So possibly either yellow or moonstone blue.
Yeah. Okay.
V1 kit.
Yes.
I personally prefer it the most.
Yes. Okay.
With the lip kit obviously on it too. Again, I did like them Rota wheels that was on that one time. Or else probably DSO5s.
Okay.
Suit them very well.
Yeah. I have that one. I have an exact car, Regal Competitions car. I'm pretty sure it's like that in my head right now.
Yeah, no, like they had one, they had a picture up of it today. But if I'm going for some, I suppose, like, well, I don't like shotguns on them, so I just go with it.
Far better job. Yeah, I agree.
Would a turbo it? No.
Well, would you go for a 200, 300 Altezza? Would you do
Altezza?
Would you do an Altezza?
I'm used to the Type R, and it's the limiter more for me. You have a nice speedy limiter. Part of the reason why I just obviously Honda on my own car. I would put ducktail spoiler on it. I would do the plates around. I would do the LED rear lights. I wouldn't do wouldn't change the bonnet.
Right. Okay. If you're staying V1, you wouldn't.
I would take the Altezza grill out and just leave it mesh.
Really?
I prefer the mesh on them, yeah. The Altezza grill on a yellow car a bit wild looking.
You think so?
Well, the silver grill and the thing.
But you can get like the dark versions.
No.
Okay. No.
Probably full tints, wind deflectors.
Yes.
I would probably do the Vertex thing in the back, you know.
The
like
Vortex.
the fins or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Seats.
Probably just keep the standard ones. I've sat in the back of Adams down in Mandela Park one year.
Oh, they're comfy, like.
No, like that. Whenever he had changed his seats, his two front ones to like buckets.
I hate
the was uncomfortable bastard.
Oh, right. The 300's like an armchair, like.
To be fair, would even flare the arches in her. Probably. Their one car actually suits felt spec because
100%.
they do suit reverse rec.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll give you that, yeah.
What else would I suppose to do? A wooden turbo.
No, if you're going beams,
Altezza, you
if
just
you're going
stay
beams.
the-
No, I
stay
know
the-
a fella who had a turbo beams and he took the turbo out of her.
Yours had a turbo in it, technically, didn't it?
Yeah, mine did have a turbo at one
Because
point.
you're a turbo timer.
Yeah, turbo tamer, and you could also see on like the fabric below the bonnet where at one point there had definitely been a very, very warm spot
Oh.
above the exhaust manifold.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yes.
But mine had mine had Gretty and written into the seats and all. So mine's definitely had like a TD04 or something on it at a point. Sure, because I say I had like seats retrimmed. Like mine's are retrimmed leather.
Yeah.
Altezza's
right.
come with cloth, as far as I'm aware. Like
Well-
mine's had retrimmed leather with the Gretty embroidered onto it.
I'd probably just leave the interior more or less the same. This is very very bare. The usual you would see, to be fair.
Does it work?
It does, to be fair, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then in the TRD rear lap, I'd probably paint the diffusory bit black,
Mhm.
and then possibly go a black roof. They do suit it, I think. With yellow car,
Nah, maybe a yellow car. So
and then smoke out the rear lights too. So we'd probably leave it like that, I think.
so
Full tents, obviously. Too.
yeah,
And I would have big number slip differentials, sunstrut on it.
obviously that needs more slick. Moonstone Blue.
Okay.
I have this fight in my head consistently whether I'd prefer a BN sports kit or a V1. I think V1 wins by the skin of its teeth. Because
There's something
I
classic about a
agree
V1.
with the felty thing that you're saying. I agree.
No,
And Calvin Kirby's head's in his hand going, no, what are you doing? But
well, see, whenever BN's created his BN sports kit,
yes.
it was like one of the first I'd seen.
Yes.
Cool as fuck.
Yes.
Very aggressive.
But there's a picture of his car and Adam's car parked together.
There's something just. Do you know the way you see your 11 fronted
Mhm.
Corolla with skirts on it
Mhm.
and super lights all around it?
Yeah.
And Revos.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Revos and just white or black or something. There's something about the likes of a V1 kit at Lexus. It's timeless.
Completely agree. So you'd put a V1 in a lip kit.
Yes.
I would go for wheels. I would go for the T5Rs that I have, but mine are 8.5, the 5 spokes.
Yes.
But I would go for a set of work T5Rs, but I would go 9s. Would get a wee bit more concave. Mine are concave as it is.
Yeah.
And I also need to put a for sale that up for them. But mine are concave.
What
but
colour?
it's probably silver on a Moonstone Blue.
Yeah.
I think that's a better option. I would go probably light smoke all around. Sunroof model.
Oh, well, I would have to.
Sunroof model. I would get the LED rears that have all the lights.
Yes, same there.
But I think the biggest thing I would do to mine is I would throw a V8 in it. I just know, I had the Altezza, right? I've had the 300 and I've had a 200. I was very heavily involved in when we done Calvin Kirby's V8 swap, and see the amount of aftermarket support there is. It's not a difficult swap, and it just works really well. Calvin's car was a fun car. Before Calvin even sprayed it and had the air in it, we literally, because Calvin was spraying that car,
Yeah.
and he won it in a raffle. We treated that car like a hedge beater. It got a couple of wee scrapes from being in my shed from us actually bashing stuff onto it, and we just laughed because it was getting painted. I don't think Calvin will mind me saying that, because literally there was no big dents or anything like that. It was a couple of wee scrapes here and there, but literally we just used to laugh. We were literally throwing that bumper off ditches. We would go out at night time. Calvin would land, because the car was here at mine at the time. Me, Calvin, and Rob would go out and fucking drive the life out of that car.
Well, I could say an engine swap myself, but the only thing I would say about that is, there's so. I don't know. To me, they suit. The Altezza limiter and just.
Agreed, but the V8
I get the torque
makes,
and the more power.
the V, like here, I love the Altezzas too, obviously, but if I was to do it again, like I know my 300 has a 2J, and yes, you could very quickly go at it with a turbo, but again, same as the Altezza, like the V8 is controllable power. You don't have to be a champion drifter to have a lot of fun on that car. Yes, not unlike the Altezza, you'd have to be slightly less ignorant for the car to make you.
Don't know what's wrong. It's the Honda coming out in me. I'd just be sitting in the limiter.
Hey, my Altezza, I was welded to the
Whereas
limiter.
I find V8 limiters not as big a fan.
I would say wait till you see Calvin's now with the Max ECU in it. It'll be a different story, I would say.
Fair enough.
But since he done the pipes and all,
I'd have loved to have seen yours with a full straight through on it.
No, I had a HKSA power silent in mine.
Aye, but
Great job.
I know, I'd love to have seen yours with a full straight through, but a middle box on it to see what the throaty sound would
Okay,
have
fair
been
enough. I just think, so say Moonstone Blue, set of work, T5Rs, V1 kit, light smoke all around, V8 conversion. I don't know where I'd go, like 1UZ or 3UZ. It's kind of a much of a muchness. I know there's many people going, oh no, technically there's not. 3UZ, you had to, for a long time, you had to run standalone management because they were so hard to work, but I'm pretty sure either Phoenix or PT, one of the two of them, has now a kit that you can run on loom and it's fine. There's two types of 1UZ. Calvin has the VVTA. The non-VVTA is the stronger engine. You can literally throw a turbo at them and they'll just take it, because same as like the old non-VVTA 1Js, the non-VVTA 2Js, and the old 3SGs that you found in like the MR2s, just invincible engines. Throw a turbo at them, boost, away you go. Great engines. But I'd probably do the same engine, 1JZ or 1UZ VVTA. Reason to say I don't go for a turbo as much as I love the sound of them is it comes back to that whole thing of Alexis, you're coming back to that whole thing of where you have a car that's very, very fast, and I already own one car that fucking terrifies the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I'm happy enough to own one that maybe doesn't try to kill me just as much. So yeah, and then I put a set of braids, 100% braids, and
I've never been bothered with seats.
I know, I love my seats. Braids, and I'd probably retrim the door yards to be the same, and I put an RD wheel in her.
Because like a set and Benny McDonald's chase.
She was a class car.
See, just the standard seats in her.
Oh, armchairs.
Fucking
armchair. Crash, she could have fallen asleep in the back of her. Like
I don't care
I'd
what
have rented that thing
says.
out for an Airbnb, like for Donegal, like, and stayed in it, like it was that good.
Like it for me, sometimes it takes away from the character of the car.
What noise was that, Michael?
Was that like a drawn out sigh?
No, it's just like I don't know. I like seeing like the likes of if I see braids in like the likes of Alexis, I'm just like, that's fucking cool.
Where do we go from here then?
Well, we're probably running out of time, so we need to move on to big old skids and one-way pills.
Of which there is many.
We're in like 220 or something.
Fucking hell, are we?
Yeah. We talked a lot about Silage, like. Well, I have a couple. So, you know what, we could talk about it all night, but like, look, see, to be honest, I'll finish on this note, we all give the Lexus some amount of shit. Everyone's guilty of it. I have made the Winston, when I hear Lexus and limiter, I have made the
It's more the fact now that it's not just limiter, it's just key buying.
Yeah, I mean, that's also quite annoying.
But this is the thing, right? So IS200's obviously all of the same engine.
Yes.
Why does some of them sound like they're fucking lazy on a limiter and some of them actually sound well?
Pass.
It's hardy. Like, if you listen to Adam whenever he used to have his port, she would have one dun 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 one dun dun dun.
But then Cress or Ryan Kelly's Cress had an insane key
it just continued.
Ryan Kelly's new engine is like fucking hell. It is insane. That thing, he sent me a video of the other day, and I was like, holy shit.
Can you show me it?
I'll show you it after.
That's right.
It's like it sounds class. Like I'm going through the tunnels at Oma, just where like the underpass at Oma.
Yes.
You key banger there.
Like me in the West.
Yeah, same thing. And like it's
to be fair, I found if I sit in third gear in VTEC, I just dabbed the
She
throttle.
just bang, bang,
and
bang.
flame after flame. Yeah. And then Gemma was behind me one night actually whenever I was doing this.
Scared the shit out of her.
No, she was like, "Would you ever fuck off? I'm getting destroyed with fumes.
Oh yeah. So there's one
The
night.
stink of your car."
There's one night I think we come back from Cars and Coffee, and you were just literally. I think on Kearns took a video of you just banging her the whole way out the West Link from that.
And then
Cars
it was
Coffee.
more the secondary bang was fucking louder than the rest.
Mhm.
I sounded like gunshot.
For big old skids and one wheel wheels.
I have a big old skid.
What's that?
Tom's video with me that I haven't seen yet. Fucking class.
To be fair.
Also, just in a wee side note before we go any further, we've obviously done the pre-order for the merch.
Oh, why?
By this time, all going well, we will be fairly through getting them made. We should have them by Donegal.
Yes,
no
that-
full-on promises
that
as of
is
yet,
it. That's
unless
the plan.
logistics goes wrong. But we're in the works too. If any of you are going to be at Donegal, we'll probably put up on social media roughly where we'll be at certain times, and we'd like to think we would have a certain amount of stock
Mhm.
with us, and we're in the sort of midst of trying to sort out being able to take cash as well as card, like
Mhm.
contactless, so that
Yeah.
if you do want to buy anything off us, well, there's stickers or a banner or hood of your t-shirt. Now, I don't know how much of each but we will have. That's still, we don't know yet, but we should probably 95% have it at Donegal. So if you see us, don't be afraid of coming over and shouting.
Oh,
and
I give us a shout. Like,
we'll
give us a
sort,
bell. Like,
we'll sort something out. So
I'm-
we will or should have. There's very, very high chance we will have some merch with us.
Oh, 100%.
We'll look like
if we have everything ready, because I've ordered extra for stock.
the boots will become the shop.
I have a few there. Well, like literally a couple. Say normally I can have episode 35. I had an absolute huge list. This one here not so much, because to be honest, I didn't really get that much time.
Oh,
on my
we're
phone.
talking again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't really get that much time on my phone.
I'm as unprepared as ever.
I've spent most evenings I've been either out in a tractor or
You've been me, so you have.
Yeah.
So this is why you're unprepared.
yeah.
See?
Oh, fair enough. Also, the fact that I've been working
Bum,
away,
Oh, same.
and I was in Cork all last week. Like,
I was in the milking part.
yes, well, so
Not for many hours, obviously, but
I have an honourable mention here. I've written Tom Bowden down, but we spoke about him earlier. But yeah, look, once again, folks, Tom, reach
thanks
out.
very much
Yeah.
for even driving to see it. Like,
Yeah, I will have to square him up with something like, but fair play, like, appreciate it. It's all appreciated.
And you said Tom's been listening for
Mhm.
a while.
Yep, Tom's, I would say, probably followed us from near the beginning. We were right up his street, cars and tractors. Like, it's,
True, he's a very nice Jeep.
he also has a bag Leon.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's a bag Leon.
Mark 1, 2 or 3.
Mark II.
Oh.
Like,
Leon that I really like the Leon.
aye,
oh.
BTCC kit,
Oh.
decked. Like, kind of like,
What wheels wrong?
oh, now you're Dundalkin.
Am I Dundalkin?
Oh, they're like, I'm pretty sure they're a set of Vemans or something. They're like
Lovely.
they're a multi-spoke. Not a multi-spoke, like, hard to describe, but no, it's a nice
Split
car.
5-spoke?
No. Like,
No, like many spokes.
yeah, many
Okay.
spokes.
Okay.
It's like, it would nearly
What
be like
favorites do you have? Many spokes.
many spokes. It's like a San Diego blue nearly. It's a cool car, like,
Deadly.
it's a cool car. So there's big shout out to Tom. What else have I got? After I put up the video of the B6 Passat, I had another lad, Conor, right out to me and sent me a video of his mate who's a 406 with a tractor flap exhaust.
That's fucking class. I actually seen a video of that on TikTok and showed it to Gemma, and I was like, that's just cool as fuck. I don't like totally unnecessary, and she was like, I actually even find that quite cool.
Yeah,
and I
it
was
was
like,
funny, like.
yeah,
So, yeah.
him going about in the town and then the flat.
Yeah,
class.
it's funny, like. What have you got there?
Fuck all. I'm being honest, but Conor Kelly has sent us away to videos.
Numerous, yeah.
I
I just picked one at random.
by accident just replied to it with one of the suggestions saying, amazing.
What one was it?
The one where, so essentially, fella kicks the door of the Avensis in, and he slams it closed.
And it just bounces out again.
That surely would be edited, because I would love to try that, but I wouldn't want to try
I
it.
don't know if I'd want to try. I don't even know if I want to damage an Avensis.
He's also sent another video, and it's catched me out, because it's a fella on a bike, and he appears to be from sort of Japan end of the
Taiwan
country.
or something by the looks of it. Is that just the boy like just constantly going
on a bike, yes.
Yeah.
And the bike has a wee Jap can, has a big air intake in it. The air intake goes to the handlebars, so maybe just makes them a wee bit colder.
That's cute.
And the exhaust looks to be cable tied.
He sent a couple other videos there as well. There was one of a mini Fiat tractor, a wee mini 110.
Say not, yes.
That's cool. And then also one of a fella driving a car transporter on behind, and the car transporter just comes.
I definitely say, you've seen them as much as I have. I just say they're amazing.
Then Reese Bruce sent me one, and it was like someone like celebrating like their new yacht, and it's like smashing like the champagne glass all the side of the yacht, and then the next thing it just cuts to like this Ford 4600, and someone just
Wait, a ton of beer.
like a beer off a chain block, and the roof just boom. I'm some laughing at that. Hey, he got
he did, well, I got a Snapchat there this evening. He has got the old K20 going. Fair fucks to him.
Hey, he's pushing her tight for Donegal.
Fucking better not sound better than mine. But here, fair play to you.
He's a full Hondata now too, because he wasn't going to go Hondata originally, and then he was
You need to go Hondata though for the, unless you
I don't know what he was originally planning doing. Well, he was planning on the K20 ECU, but I don't know what his plan
just an
was.
EP3 ECU then.
Yeah, I think that was his original plan. Was because did he have a donor car?
I don't know.
I think he had a donor car, but he was stuck. And then I was like, "No, you need."
Well,
to
they'd
go
asked me questions about Hondata and that. So
I told him to
must've-
go ask you because he was saying to me, "Do you know much?" And I was like, "Talk to Conor."
it's like I suppose if somebody came to me going like, "Do you know much about 2-litre twin cam series?" And I'm like,
I don't
Go to
even know
Michael,
much
just don't
about
listen to
2-litre
him.
twin cam series.
I would like go to Michael, but just don't listen to him too much, because then you could end up going down a rabbit hole, and then that'll turn into a badger hole. And after that, there you'll end up just
Fantastic Mr. Fox. Fucking digging out the whole lot.
you should be called Fantastic Mr. Fox, or fuck it up, Fox.
The final one was Adam McCartney sent one in of a BMW 320i, but it's actually like a big turbo M606, but it's badged 320i and all. It looks like a pure poverty spec BM.
What is it, Michael?
Unreal. No, so it's a big M606 in there, and I was like, that is class. It's really well done, but the car looks like an absolute sleeper.
Yeah.
So I fucking love that sort of shit. Anyway, it's late, and I still have to run you home because you took my tractor home.
I was nice to you. Turns out that my phone or sorry, my watch at the Elk decided to tell me was I doing a workout or not again.
Huh. Well,
I'll give it to you. Fair play for doing a day's work on that thing.
how do you think the boys?
Because it is a fucking day's work.
How do you think the boys of yesteryear done that day in day out over the summer?
They were drivers.
Yeah, I would agree.
Although
that being said, like
at the end of the day, whenever them tractors were brand new, Syncros would have been far better on them and all that. You know, maybe slightly better, but even at that,
but like see round here, like the biggest trailer would have been a 12-ton. You know, until maybe 2005, like when Dad was still living, when the ferries were doing our silage, like the 6810 had the 12-ton on, like, and that was the big trailer. Like everybody else was running about with 10-ton canes, and Dad had an 8.5-ton Fraser.
Well, I can mind when I was 5 or 6 and was jumping in with Quins whenever they were doing Airgrass, and I think it was Ray Johnson and Dermot Scully and that there would have been driving back then.
Dermot's been with them some at the time. He's still with them.
I don't know if he listens or if he's ever listened, but if he ever hears that there, he'll be like, fuck off for your age. But like I was that young sitting in the passenger seat of the 360 that I had one hand, because they used to say like to Jared, like, the fuck does he not, like, does he always do it with you? But I would have one hand in the bar and one hand in their knee, because I was that young.
Right.
I was literally I had to be lifted into the tractor. I couldn't climb up into it. Wasn't old enough.
I would find that odd too, like one hand in the knee.
I was only a wee, like
I know
I
what
would
it-
say I would have been about 5 or so.
Ah,
First time I
only
was
a
ever
couple,
in,
like.
like I had Pokemon cards with me.
Are they the famous Pokemon cards?
What famous Pokemon?
The ones that your ma got you that time?
No,
Did
like
we
I-
ever tell that story?
Well, I don't know if it. Well, see, they did none of. I was never bought anything like that from that. It was your father. So, long story short, it turns out that, like, before I knew you at all or whatever.
Oh, many moons before. Yeah.
Your mother and father, my mother and father, anyway, were down at the ploughing down
Yes.
south, and they had got a bus in this particular
Mhm.
time down with
That was like the thing.
a
back
grip
then.
or whatever. But turns out your father and my had asked me mother or whatever, you know,
Mhm.
do you know much about
Pokemon. I have a wee boy at home.
that's mad about it or whatever, right?
That's right.
And then the mad thing is, fast forward 25 years, and
Now we're two clowns sitting in a fucking.
they were doing a podcast together.
Oh dear God.
Isn't that so?
Man,
Yeah, I
like-
thought that was, and that's what Dad always says to me. Like,
And
it's
I'm
funny
sure the
how
listeners
small.
can work out that the other bits in between with
Yes,
parents and all that.
they're no longer with us,
Yeah. So.
which is kind of mad. But in that,
very
mad.
kind of depressing note for a overly quite enjoyable podcast.
I
Actually I really enjoyed that one.
I have to say the same myself. I'm a bit embarrassed that I didn't know that there was a video taken of the tractor. I assumed that the next one.
I can do video magic and edit out all things about you not knowing about the video if you really want.
But then you would edit out about your fucking man tits.
No, I might keep it on. That was
That was
funny.
only a joke, like. But anyway, on that note, I think it's probably time to give it a rest. Considering it's 12:15 at night, and
I still throwing you home.
aye.
Aye.
So, suppose the only thing left to say now is, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like. Don't be feared
like
to
the merch
leave,
as well.
leave a comment. Pre-orders have stopped for the merch, but we're hoping now after Donegal we'll have a bit of a stock in, and we'll get something set up that you just go on and you can buy.
Plan is to get Shopify. According to Seamus Fitzgerald, if he can use a Shopify, anyone can use it. So
Yeah.
he was going to help me up with that. So
And we're in the process getting logistics not there sorted out for it, but
I just can't wait to get a Wiener Sunstrip stickers on. I'm going to get one on the tractor and one on the car and all that there. Like,
and the other thing is, if you're listening to us on YouTube or watching, hello, but also please like, and even though if you do be nice and leave a comment, we do read them, or I read them.
you can reply to them, you know.
Fucking. This is so. I would be in the parlour, say, in the evening time on a Sunday, and be like, "Oh, I wonder how many people have listened to it." Because normally I would listen to the first wee minutes of it, to get a view up. Say,
I don't even look at any of that anymore. I don't
But
even
no.
look at the views anymore. I would say actually at the minute our views are probably down on what they were at the start because people go back and listen to
they're actually not.
But people, your first podcast will have
There's
more
still
views.
about 5 or 6 people listening to us.
Oh right, well yeah. It's funny though because the first podcast we done, I'd have thought as time would have went on, and your podcast would have more views. But the other ones are people going back and listening.
Oh,
Yeah.
never really looked at that.
You think about well, what do you do while on a podcast? You would go back to the start and try and get caught up.
True. Well, if you're a long-term listener now that's went back to the start and came now, I'm sure we were brutal sounding at the beginning, but had to learn. Anyway, what I was meaning to say was, I listened to the first fucking 20 seconds
Oh,
of
the last
podcast. Put it this way, let's just say this. So, I just seen myself in the chair. I was like, "You dirty bastard! You actual dirty bastard!" And then all I heard Gemma was in the other room going like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I was like, "He's a dirty bastard, so he is." Oh, like he is. Fuck, he's a wanker. Like, aye. It's obviously up now, so I'll just have to take it. But fuck, I'm not cringed out at that there.
I done some laughing, but you know what? It makes it all personable. Like it makes it personable.
I was like, I didn't even listen to see if me first attempts at it. It's like, what fucking lyrics are this song? But then Gemma, she listened to this. All I could hear was how, like, she was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "So essentially, you had walked out of the shed, and I was just like fucking
I was
about."
going to find internet signal.
And I sung whatever because you had left the shed anyway. And
You started trying to sing Akon's Lonely and didn't know.
is that who sings it?
Yeah.
No, see, it was
From, like,
going through my head.
2005.
I was like, "Fuck, what's the words of this here?" And then I was trying to put it through
But
my
it's
head.
the fact that, like, you see your head trying to go through the thought process, and you're like, lonely, I am so. Hold on, no wait, what is it? Oh no, wait, that's not how it goes. Lonely. I was just listening to that when I was editing, because you had said to me when I was walking in, "Did you hear any of that?" And I went, "No."
That's the point. I was like,
and you
I'll
were
just
like,
leave that as we like Easter egg whenever he's editing.
and then I was listening to it.
I was like,
and
"You jammy."
I near died laughing. And there was another episode where you done something similar. I went off to get, I think it was the Max Purr poster, and you like done
I was like, "You're a wanker."
but you done a wild pile of talking, and I ended it to try and make it be like the whole SpongeBob thing, like 5 hours later,
Yeah.
and all that. And
Because at that stage back, whenever we recorded then, we were cool enough in our heads to listen back to these funny bits, whereas I had forgotten by the end of the podcast I had even done that.
but now we're like what, 36 podcasts in.
I thought you were saying like now we're 30. And I'm like,
No, now we're 36 podcasts and the novelty's kind of starting to.
it's mad. I know we said this before, like, but yes, I was very cringed out, so I didn't actually listen to it that time.
Fucking
But
hilarious.
yes, like, and don't be afraid to subscribe. It would be very much appreciated. And if you're on Spotify listening to us, which I've been trying to get around to his last 5 minutes, again, leave question, feedback, the whole shebang. We did actually look at it once at like episode 20, and we're like, "Fuck me, people have wrote to this," but we're shite at getting back to you.
I know you're right to me personally. I'll get back to you. You're right to the page on Instagram or even TikTok. I'll get back to you.
You're right to me personally. I'll get back to you, but
He just mightn't see it.
It's huh?
He just mightn't see it for a while.
Aye, pretty much. We see it. We do see everything, like, and
Right.
we do appreciate everything.
Follow the prod. Follow the prod. Stephen McMullen likes us.
Yes.
Follow the.
Yes. To be fair, we're coming into merchant season, so if you're Michael, you'll be following all
Just
the
name your
prods.
fucking orange Havas on here now. Follow the pod at Limited Slip Differences. Follow me at michaelscon_. Follow Conor at.
I'm Conor.magoo, so you'll see him laughing at me being very calm.
There's an edit in between.
Yes.
And
I hope my mouth's too big.
anyway, right. Call it there, folks. Best of luck.
See you later.